It is Friday. The New York Giants knocked off the Philadelphia Eagles. The Cowboys have an opportunity to be within half a game of first place. Man, it's Friday. Let's go. Let's talk Cowboys. Let's go. The Cowboys are in the catbird seat. The Cowboys have an opportunity, and they must seize it. Let's go. Welcome, Cowboy fans and Cowboy haters alike. I'm the G, and I'm the host of Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. And as you come into this live stream, please hit that like button, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, so you will know the next time we post another video or go live. And we are live. And if you see that HYPE button, please hit that also. And if you haven't become a channel member subscriber, please do. We have a lot of great things coming up this season. Now let's talk facts. Philly. Philly got beat. Philly was laughing at us getting beat by the Chicago Bears, only for them to get mollywopped. By a rookie quarterback. Hey, I'm not gonna trip. Jackson Dart looking pretty good. Looking like 2016 Dak and Zeke, him and Scatty Boo. Unfortunately, we got 2025 Dak Prescott, and that ain't gonna be enough. But the Cowboys have a great opportunity. We're gonna discuss that as we get down into the show. Let's look at what we're gonna be talking about today. Everybody's been talking today as far as interviews go, so we got quite a few interviews to get through. But I think all of these interviews are going to be very interesting. Stephen Jones interview, Matt Eberflus interview. Very interested to hear Matt Eberflus, simply because of the defense, and I want to see where he's taking it. Jerry Jones, I think he's going to speak a little bit about the New York Giants from last night. Brian Schottenheimer is going to give us his usual. Then I want to look at there's a new section on DallasCowboys.com called Scouting the Enemy with Will McClay. I think it's Will McClay that's doing this. So I want to check that out. It's only about 3 minutes. And then we're going to give our regular, normal game preview that I have put together, and we'll be discussing statistics, storylines, keys to the game, and we'll give our prediction for the score. So, Stephen Jones, Matt Eberflus, Jerry Jones, Shotty 105.3, Scout the Enemy and game preview. Let's go. Yep. God, family, football. Thank God it's Friday. Cowboys playing at noon. Yep. Let's go. Appreciate y'all rocking with me today. Let's get this roll call. Best chat on YouTube. Let's get this thing going. My man, Ron Hanna. Yeah, boy, the Giants gave me a birthday present. Yep. I'm telling you, the older I get, I'm trying to enjoy every single day. Great day. Prayer still going up for you, Ron Hanna. Yeah, it was a great day. We beat the Giants. And we're going to talk about that more as we keep going. Lord Nova, what's going on, my brother? Good to see you. Brandy Mahoney, what's going on with you? She said, hey, my loves, NFC is wide open. Yeah, I posted a video about it today. My man, Dominique Pittman, what's going on with you, my brother? My right-hand man, Daniel M., what's going on? Miles Sanders done for the season. Man, we're going to talk about these injuries. I told y'all about this week. We're going to discuss this thing about these Cowboys injuries. Seemed very strange to me, but I'm going to talk about these injuries. Dolores, Betty Boo, what's going on? Robert Thomas up in here. What's going on? Yep. Look like we're going to be seeing Jaden Blue for the rest of the season. I'm here for it. Dominique Pittman, yes, sir. We're trying to hit that 20K. Let's go. We can get that 20K by the end of the month. Let's go. Reality Cowboy, yes, sir. Birthday guy. That was my birthday yesterday. But hey, these days, everybody's celebrating their birthday the whole month. Nevertheless, thankful for the God for another year. It's the real estate vet. What's going on, my brother? Good to see you. Yeah, blessed to be a Cowboy fan. Robert Dudley up in here. What's going on with you? John Jones, he said, what up, G Money? I'm going to tell you again, it's a New Jack City. This is a big game the Cowboys have coming up. Michael Hankins, what's going on? J. Lou in this thing. Cujo, 903. What's going on? My brother, 903. They don't know about that 903, J. Lou. Cujo. Keith, what up with you? Dak owns Brunt Boots. What's going on? Benjamin Rodriguez up in this thing. What is going on with you? Renan Seguini, C-Base is back. John Trachino, what's going on? Good to see you. A-Dot, what's going on with you? Jakira Gasson, what is going on? Appreciate the happy birthday. Yeah, Cowboys 48-14. Boy, hey, Jakira, wait till you see my score. I think me and you thinking along the same lines. Mary Cole, Bumpy 5X, what's going on? These Texans tapping in again. What's going on? Big Mouse Dog, what up with you? My sister LaQueen, what's going on? Hey, I had a happy birthday. Still on going. My family unveiled something on me today, so it's all good. We still going. Jared Thomas, number 1 Dak Prescott fan. I'm number 2. Hey, man, let me tell you something. Tush Push didn't do him no good last night. Divine King, what's going on? Metris Adams, what's going on? Robert Simmons. All right, let's get this thing going, guys. Davion Wallace, what's going on? Good to see you. Lil D Texas, what up in this thing? Brandon Cup, what up? Lynn, what up? Good to see you. The unofficial co-host, Angie the Rebel Chicks is in here. Let's go. What's going on, Angie the Rebel Chicks? We know you sneaking over by the water machine getting in. What's going on? Good to see you. Marlon Dillard, Pure Gaming up in this thing. Let's go. Regulator, what up? Regulator, I see you. New avatar up in this thing. The Regulator. What's going on? Poobie D got my back. What up with you, Poobie D? Good to see you. All right, let's get this thing going, guys. Clarence Baldwin in here. What's going on? Good to see everybody today. All right, let's get to this thing. Henry Ibarra, what's going on? Let's get this thing going with the Cowboys. Yeah, it looks like there is some news being reported. And it looks like Stephen Jones is actually going to break this news from what I can see. Stephen Jones is going to break this news from what I can tell. So let's get over here and check out Stephen Jones. But Miles Sanders is gone for the season. Gone for the season. I don't know, but for some reason, this just doesn't seem to be a surprise the way things were going. Stephen Jones is the one that kind of breaks this news, but Miles Sanders is gone for the season. So with Miles Sanders gone for the season, that pretty much tells us something. That if Miles Sanders is gone for the season, the Jaden Blue era has begun in Dallas. I don't think the Cowboys are going to go outside of the team. I don't think they're going to go outside of the team to try to get a running back. Javonte Williams is running very good. I believe the Cowboys are going to go with Jaden Blue. And then they'll get Phil Maffa healthy, and then they'll probably have Phil Maffa, Jaden Blue, and Javonte Williams. And I will be 100% honest with you. I actually like that running back room. I want to see what that running back room looks like. The Cowboys' offense is already very potent. So I want to see what that running back room looks like. Javonte Williams, Jaden Blue, Phil Maffa. I think that running back room will be incredible. I think it'll be incredible. So very, very interested to see what that is. But guys, We're going to elaborate. We will elaborate on this more as we go on. But I find it to be strange. Or I shouldn't say strange because I don't find it to be strange. I mentioned this earlier this week. Have y'all not noticed the improvements on the team are coming from injuries? The improvements on the team are coming due to injuries. The Cowboys' hands being forced to play players that some of us already thought should have been starting. I'm pretty sure nobody's crying about Miles Sanders. I mean, I want him to get healthy, but I don't think he was going to last anyway. We got Jaden Blue. He's going to replace Miles Sanders, I'm pretty sure. Then on top of that, what do we do? Shamar James. Shamar James, because of injury. Shamar James is going to be the linebacker, look like, going forward. Matt Eberflus is going to talk about it. Wanye Thomas, former Lee Hooker. Now it looks like Marquise Bell will be playing for Donovan Wilson. Donovan Wilson is hurt. So when you it's like the improvements on the team are literally because of injury. Cowboys defense is getting better. And I do think anything the Cowboys do in free agency, I think it's going to be defense. The Cowboys don't need to do anything on offense. The offense is already clicking. It's already clicking. You're the number one offense in football. It's already clicking. You just need to get Jaden Blue up to speed. Jaden Blue, bring in Phil Maffa. We're going to be great on offense. We're going to be great on offense. All we have to do now is get this defense together, and I think that's what the Cowboys will be doing. But anyway, let's go ahead and get through this. What's going on, Dustin Roberts? Good to see you. Dustin Roberts, unfortunately, I did sleep well last night. I was going to do Cowboys After Dark and fell asleep again. I've started a new routine of getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and man, about 10, 11 o'clock, I'll be out. But y'all don't worry. We're going to get Cowboys After Dark back on track. So let's go ahead and get this one in. Stephen Jones is only about 12 minutes. Minimal interruption. We're going to go ahead, minimal interruption. We're going to go ahead and let Stephen Jones talk, and he'll talk a little bit more about the Miles Sanders thing. Bernard Fields. Bernard Fields said, if Jerry or Steven get injured, I'll step in for him. Yes, sir. All right, let's get this thing going with Stephen Jones.
Jones Show here on your home of the Cowboys, and he joins us now. Good afternoon, Stephen. How the heck are you?
I'm doing good, guys. How you doing?
Man, we're doing so good. The Jets game was amazing, and yeah, I just wanted to get your thoughts on this because you're watching the team in Oxnard and then seeing how many guys stepped up in that game off the bench, and the vibes are so good. I just think you really have something special with the leadership dynamics, like Shoddy plus Dak equals leadership gold.
Well, I wouldn't disagree with that a minute. Obviously, Coach Schottenheimer is just doing an amazing job. I thought he went through hiring his coaching staff, which you can see now is paying off in spades. I thought the way he went through that was amazing. And, you know, hiring guys like Clayton and Connor on the offensive side of the ball, I don't want to get into names because I think I like every one of our coaches on our staff, but I agree with you. And then you throw Dak in the mix. He's always been the Pied Piper of this team. He's got amazing leadership skills. He's, you know, quite an amazing man off the field, but what a hell of a year he's having so far. And in order to lead at the end of the day as a player, you do have to be, you know, you have to be great as well. And that's the way Michael Irvin was. He was one of our great players, but also a leader. But there's no question those two guys are at the front of the line and making a huge difference in what this team's all about. And, you know, the main thing is just overcoming, you know, obstacles that, you know, teams go through. And not only are we doing it, we're doing it well.
Seems like some years you're hoping that one backup offensive lineman can step in there and be next man up legitimately, and last week it was 4. What do you think allows that to happen?
I'll go back and start with coaching. I think, these guys are just doing a great job of communicating, and our guys understanding what we're trying to, accomplish philosophically in that line, whether it's the run game, pass protection, whatever it is.
I see you, Brandon Mahoney.
I just
Boy,
think,
you got sister, you got to be rolling up in here.
They're just doing a great job of helping our guys understand. Now, hats off to Will and our pro scouting staff and college scouting staff.
What up, Terry Tatum?
Picking players who've got the skill set to get the job done, but there's no question. I mean, when not many teams can step up, especially in the offensive line, where a lot of people look at it. A lot of guys take a lot of pride in being a unit, not just one guy here and one guy there, individuals, but a unit. And certainly to have 4 new guys step up and play at that level is great. Now, it also looks like we're getting ready to get guys back. So, as they come back, we'll get them plugged back in and hopefully not miss a step.
Steven, you mentioned that about the offensive line. You can maybe say that about your wide receiver crew
Tristan?
as well, them stepping up here the last couple of weeks. And you're talking about getting guys back plugged in. How difficult are those situations
Big
when you're
Rombowski,
now
what
dealing
up?
with 21-day windows, maybe having to make roster moves, and then you got guys that are backup guys that are playing pretty damn well for you?
Well, that's a good challenge to have. Usually it's the other way around. You got, you don't have enough good players to put on your 53. But we are having some challenges. But as you know, we activated the clock on Mingo and Carson, and fully expect those 2 guys will ultimately make their way up. Unfortunately, at the end of the day, attrition will get you. And we just, found out we're going to lose Sanders for the year, our running back. And, these things have a way of spots opening up. And probably won't do Mingo this week. A good chance Carson may come up just to get him going. But that's just part of it. But it is great, as you said, to have guys like a Flournoy step up, a Tolbert step up, and knowing you got a guy like Mingo coming when you have injuries like we have with CD and Turp.
So, wow, thanks for that news. Miles Sanders out for the year. That's tough for him, but thank you for the news. How do you think the carries get picked up? Is it more Javonte? Is it more Jaden Blue?
Well, we're so fired up about what Jaden Blue can do for this offense. He's got rare explosiveness, and we've just, and I know Coach Schottenheimer and his offensive staff are going to certainly continue to figure out the best way to use him. But I think he's really going to bring something to this offense, at the running back position that we hadn't had. And I think this can, as much as I respect and take a lot of Sanders, I think, at the end of the day, Blue can really bring some more juice to this offense, which you start talking about getting him and Turp and CD in the mix going forward, then, an offense that's already doing pretty good has got a chance to just continue to get better.
Ed Werder has a
Brandon
cool story
Mahoney.
up today about how you guys identified Javonte Williams in the middle
talking about
of
the book of
last
life.
season, and we're really, chomping at the bit to try to get him under contract. What else can you share with us about how that process went of identifying Javonte and such a priority?
Well, I think it's been
Not happening lock and D. We're not trading for no running back. I don't know why people keep talking about that.
A lot of what goes into our grades too is what we thought about him coming out, and we had.
Somebody also mentioned lock and D. Let me see who it was up in here. Somebody also mentioned Malik Davis. The Cowboys have Malik Davis on standby too. So I'm just telling us. Clarence Baldwin. I'm just telling us the Cowboys offense is great. The Cowboys don't need a running back. We already have a running back that may be on the caliber of one of those running backs in Detroit. Javonte Williams is already the 3rd best running back in the league. And so I just think Javonte Williams is going to open the Cowboys run game up even more, because now I think we'll get even more explosive runs out of that running game. But not only that, Jaden Blue is better. I think he's better out of the backfield than Javonte Williams because he works out as a wide receiver. The Cowboys are going to be very, very good in the run game. I don't see the Cowboys doing anything offensively in free agency. If the Cowboys do something, before the trade deadline, I just don't think it's going to be anything offensive. It'll be defensive. You're the number one offense in the game. Why do you need to trade a running back? I know people talk about Breece Hall. Cowboys don't need to give up no second-round draft pick for no doggone Breece Hall. No. Javonte Williams is doing exactly what you want him to do. There's no reason in putting that kind of draft capital into Breece Hall. No. Run Jaden Blue. See what he is. Run Phil Maffa. See what he is. Run Malik Davis. Robert Simmons, he said, well, what up, G? In chat, let's talk Cowboys, cry Eagles, cry Eagles. He said, remember to tell all the Eagles fans it's just the Giants. Yeah. They were laughing, man. They was tearing us up on social media when we got beat by the Bears, only for them to get mollywopped. By the Giants. What up, Stephen White?
Late first round, high second round type grades on Javonte coming out, and just thought he was an outstanding football player. And then you roll the tape his rookie year, where I think he was in the running for rookie of the year. As a running back, he had right at 1,000 yards, I think, and then had the unfortunate ACL. And certainly, at the running back position, you miss that year, and then sometimes you're just not the same guy coming back. And we just felt like there was a lot to him. And you go back and you do your research on what kind of man he is, and he's certainly a guy who's a professional, does everything the right way, and certainly the leader in that room. And I think Shotty got his hands around it early and often in training camp. That this wasn't going to be a by committee. This was going to be, his.
What up, Mike Smooth?
He was going to be the bell cow and have everybody else support him.
Steven, it looked like you manufactured some pass rush last week. And it has to be very encouraging what you saw from your guys. And against a New York Jet offensive line that wasn't compromised, was intact, have some quality players. It had to make you guys feel much better about your situation when you saw that.
Yeah. Well, this thing is a work in progress. We still have to get a lot better on the defensive side of the ball. I think Coach Schottenheimer, Coach Eberflus, our top players and leadership on defense would tell you that the air is up for this group. And with the injuries we had early at the corner position, we were certainly trying to protect that as well as we could, and probably compromise the defense some. But now with Bland and Diggs getting back, and as you said, I think people are understanding the concepts, and I think this defense is only going to get better as the year goes, and we're going to get healthier, and we should get better.
Steven, you could swat this away if you want to, but on my platforms that I've had a chance to talk about the team and stuff, I've kind of said I felt like that this team needs to prove to you and to Jerry whether you need to make a trade or not. If you find a way to put together some wins that, hey, let's go try and finish this off. Let's try and push this forward. But if the team doesn't play well, maybe you would stand pat. Is that fair, or am I way off base?
I think you're off base, Brian. I think only in the fact that we believe in this team. And if the right opportunity were there, sitting there today, to do something, then we would pull the trigger. We have that kind of confidence in our team.
Now, keep in mind what Stephen Jones just said. The question becomes, Freddie Morales, what's going on? The question becomes, what would be the right opportunity? Because there is nothing. I'm just saying. There is nothing that you could do for us on offense, if you ask me. I mean, I'm not saying you couldn't. I mean, if you could get Breece Hall for a 5th-round draft pick, I mean, yeah, you get him for a 7th-round draft pick or something like that. Oh, okay, yeah, bring in Brees Hall. But short of something like that, I mean, maybe if you wanted to get a little bit more dynamic at tight end, but you've already signed Jake Ferguson, I mean, the Cowboys have very little wiggle room. Very little wiggle room on offense to add anything. The only place that you could truly see them adding something is running back. And I don't even know if it would necessarily be adding as much as it would be just more of the same. But I think the Cowboys running back room is solidified. The wide receiver room is solidified. The tight end room is solidified. The offensive line solidified. All that stuff is solidified. The only place the Cowboys could possibly even start working, it's defense. It's defense. Well, if you look at what we're doing, we got 10 sacks with James Houston. We got Jadeveon Clowney. I think he'll get better as we go. So the question would be, okay, how much better would and I don't think the Cincinnati Bengals are departing with Trey Hendrickson, so we don't even need to have that conversation. But the place that I could see the Cowboys, if there's anywhere I can see the Cowboys making a move, another linebacker to pair with Demarion Overshown. Another linebacker to pair with Demarion Overshown. Sanborn, cut him after this year. Keep developing Shamar James, Maurice Leofau. Let go of Damone Clark. Either trade him or let him go. That's the only place that I can see the Cowboys truly on defense. If they want to really make that defense better, linebacker. Linebacker. They're already good enough at defense. I don't even know if they're good enough. They're great at defensive tackle. Solomon Thomas has been balling at that position. Perrion Winfrey will be back. Jay Toya, we still got him back there. Cowboys should probably look at trading Mozzie Smith. But defensively is the only place that I can see the Cowboys making a move. And if we start narrowing it down, linebacker, maybe if you could find a superstar safety, even though I say you already have Wanye Thomas and Marquise Bell, you extended Marquise Bell, you need to see what he is. But if you're saying that you just want to say, forget it, we want to go in there and lock something down, well, I can see linebacker, safety, and maybe if there was a superstar corner out there, which I don't think there's, crazier things have happened. If I'm not mistaken, the Cleveland Browns traded away their cornerback, and I think he was their best cornerback. They traded him away. So, unless you're talking about something like that, I think the only place they're going to be making any kind of moves is defense. It's the only place that makes sense. Linebacker, safety, and cornerback. And notice what he said. Opportunity. That means that somebody's going to have to call the Cowboys first, because I don't think they're going to pick up the phone. I don't think the Cowboys are going to pick up the phone. Unless we look atrocious in the next 2 games. If the Cowboys look atrocious in the next 2 games, the Cowboys will probably pick up the phone. But if this defense continues to get better with what the Cowboys have, the Cowboys will probably be very strategic and try to wait it out and see if other teams start cutting players. Freddie said, boys need linebacker, safety, and corners. Yeah. That like I said, that's the only place I see them making any trades is defense. Defense. Hey, Gady Downley, we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that when we get to our breakdown. But yeah, hey, this thing with the Panthers, it became crucial last night. Yeah, it became crucial last night. Very, very crucial last night. But again, y'all don't put too much. I do believe that the Cowboys are going to make a move, but just don't get your hopes up on it being what other people are trying to tell you it should be. Cowboys are set offensively, and I think they believe that too. If anything, it'll be defense, and it's going to have to be something very good. Lavon Colin, congratulations. Yes, sir. Got married last Friday. Yes, sir. Prayers for your marriage, man. May it be a long-lasting marriage. I'm 25 years in, about to be 26. To God be the glory. Ron Hanna, he said linebacker. Yeah. I'm telling you, man, it can only be defense. It can only be defense. That man, Darren Posey, is in here. What up, Darren Posey? All right, let me read some of these super chats. Unofficial co-host, Angie the Rebel Chicks. Well, man, G, do I have to repent because Rico wears T-Move braids? Well, I'll say this. I'm not sure if he wears T-Move braids, Angie. So we really don't know where he got the braids. But, I'm all about having some fun. But, you know how it go, Angie. We don't want to we want to just make sure we're not insulting, making too much fun of Rico. Some things can, two things can be true. Rico got bad dreads. Rico got some bad dreads, and we don't want to talk bad about him. But I get it. He got bad dreads. It's funny. We were talking last night about dreads, Angie, and my son came in the house last night. Man, got some beautiful dreads. Came in the house with a bag full of dreads. The only thing I could think about was the chat. I was glad he had his braids in the chat, Angie, because I did not want him to sell them braids to somebody. Sell them dreads to somebody, because them dreads, they don't look right when you sew them back on. So sometimes we can point things out. We don't want to make fun of it, but he got some rough looking dreads. I get it. Derek Posey, he said, "What up, G?" AJ Brown yelled in the locker room after the game, "How the F we lose to the Giants?" Derek Posey. They were also talking to him about that conversation. He said, "What conversation?" He said he had no conversation. He said he had no conversation. Yeah, he had no conversation. But again, I think the Cowboys, if anything, it's going to be all defense. It's going to be all defense. Because I'm telling you, Cowboys are going to, when they put Jaden Blue in and get this dude set up, shoot, man, Jaden Blue going to be balling. You watch what I tell you. Poobie D said if we trade for any position, it should be linebacker. Yeah. Yeah, it should be. Hey, Ronald McMillan, appreciate that birthday wish, man. That happy birthday. Appreciate you, Ron. All right. Let's finish this thing on Stephen Jones. But, man, that is crazy, though. You know what? But like I said, who crying over? Hey, we're not talking bad about Miles Sanders. But let's be honest. Who was concerned that Miles Sanders was gone for the season? If anything, some of us were like, Miles Sanders, praying for you every night. Get well soon. But, yeah, we want Jaden Blue. We want Jaden Blue. So I guess if this is how we get Jaden Blue, then this is how we get Jaden Blue.
Team, and really like where we're headed right now. As you know, sometimes opportunities don't become available till other teams. I don't know. I guess I'll use the term until they're ready to mail it in, and basically say, hey, we're out of this thing this year, and it's still the first third of the season, so we got a lot of football to play, and a lot of teams are far from mailing it in, so they're not willing to, part with somebody, thinking, it's probably not going to be our year this year. And so, we're always looking for opportunity to make this team better. And if we saw a great situation that would really improve it even more so, then we would be all over it.
Love to hear that. It's Stephen Jones.
Yeah, 402 Omaha. He said Trey Sanborn. I'm really wondering if the Cowboys, people keep acting like the Cowboys are going to be out there being buyers. Man, the Cowboys could shock everybody and be sellers. The Cowboys may shock everybody and be sellers. The Cowboys could very well. When you think about probably the highest trade piece for the Cowboys in a position where they're extremely deep? Wide receiver. I don't think it's going to happen, but Jalen Tolbert could be a trade piece for the Cowboys. Because they're not going to let go of Flanoy and Mingo because they got Mingo on a dirt cheap contract. They're not letting Mingo go. They've already signed Turpin. Flanoy had his coming out game last week. I think the Cowboys are going to start getting more and more confidence. And I'm going to tell you something. This dude, Flanoy, listening to him in that interview, he's very smart. He said when Dak would text in the group chat, he said he was the first one out there, first one answering, and picking Dak Prescott's brain, putting Dak Prescott in the Hall of Fame, talking about how great Dak Prescott is. I think Ryan Flanoy has gained Dak Prescott's trust too. Jalen Tolbert could be a trade candidate. Jack Sanborn, Damone Clark. I say the Cowboys ought to think about Sam Williams. I think they ought to think about Sam Williams. And with the way Wanye Thomas is playing, if I were them, I would think about, even if you could think about trading Hooker and Donovan Wilson. Why not? Now, as far as their offensive line go, I wouldn't touch any of that. It's too important. Don't touch Nate Thomas, TJ Bass, Brock Hoffman. No, we're holding on to them. But other than that, I mean, the Cowboys got some places where they may start trying to say, hey, how about we trade some quantity and get some quality? But we're gonna see. There's gonna be other teams out there. Some of these teams, some of these players, the Cowboys that they do decide to bring in, might not even have to give up anything. Some people may just waive some players. May absolutely waive some players. So we're going to see. But don't put too much stock into, the Cowboys making a bunch of moves or making this move or that move. It's going to have to be the right opportunity.
Here with you on The Fan. What was your view of the birds seeding around the world there from Jerry?
I don't comment on other people giving the bird. You need to ask the horse on that one. It needs to come from the horse's mouth. But I will say this: it wasn't venomous because everybody in the box was upbeat and fired up and grinning, and I don't think there was any rage in that particular finger, if there was one.
Jerry can't control his fingers.
In the replay, you were having a great time laughing and smiling at somebody. I was wondering if you saw Dad's bird and that cracked you up, or if it was something else.
No, I didn't see it. I was more listening to what was going on in the stands, and people got some great antics. And, at that point, there were mainly Cowboy fans, and everybody was certainly fired up.
Brandy, you said that we think Julius. Julius is better than Wilson?
And so anyway, a lot of great fun.
Julius,
people
okay, who is
about the day, and that's why I'm saying.
Is that the guy we just got?
It wasn't one of those venomous type birds. If there was one, it was one having some fun.
There you go.
Steven, I was kind of wondering about that.
Julius Wood.
Sitting there, I mean,
Julius
you guys
Wood
do a really good job of if people are going after
Brandy,
you
I think Julius Wood may be pretty good.
And move along. And I just wondered, I know because I've been on the sidelines for you, too, down there in those Giants games and stuff. I've turned around and yelled at fans, too, after one of these games. So I kind of understand when they get on you. I mean, you take it a lot better than I do.
Yeah, I mentioned him, Darren Posey. Trade him.
Look right over the top.
Trade him.
Yeah, I needed to learn that from you. I never learned that. No.
If they think you're looking at them,
Brandy, I don't even think Phil Moffitt's hurt no more. I think the Cowboys are stashing.
Well, the winds of change are blowing in the division once again. Speaking of New York, Giants over Eagles in Thursday Night Football. What was your top takeaway?
Well, you know who I was probably rooting for. That goes without saying. But I guess my top takeaway was the Giants found them two really good offensive players.
Lynn, you're exactly right about A.J. Brown.
And their running
when he don't
back,
get what he wants, he starts tripping.
I'm sure they're fired up about that, and they already had, an impressive defensive front. So they're certainly, a team.
Bam Bam, I'm with you. Bam Bam says, sounds like Stephen Jones talking about them Bengals. Yeah. See, a lot of people were thinking, Bam Bam, that the Cowboys are going to trade for Trey Hendrickson. Don't think the Cowboys and their quote unquote social media people don't look at social media. They know what people are talking about. And so they know that Trey Hendrickson has been out there. People have been talking about Trey Hendrickson. Well, the doggone Bengals went out there and traded for Joe Flacco. I'll never understand why they traded for Joe Flacco. If I'm not mistaken, they traded a 5th and a 6th for Flacco? What are they thinking? Ain't no way I'm giving up that for Joe Flacco. Ain't no way. But the Bengals are obviously still trying to win. And so, yeah, I agree with you too. I think Steven was basically saying that teams, that the Bengals are not ready to have a fire sale because that's what people were counting on. And I don't even count the fact that I don't even think that the Saints are going to try to necessarily have a fire sale. People talking about Alvin Kamara. Cowboys don't want Alvin Kamara. At least I don't think they do. I don't think they're going. I don't even think they'd want to deal with the money, any of those things. The only thing I think the Cowboys will be interested in is that it will have to be defense. It'll have to be defense. But again, Reality Cowboy, he said trade Tobin and Sam Williams to Miami. Hey, Reality Cowboy, I'm telling us, people talking about the Cowboys going to do this and that. Shoot, Cowboys may shock everybody and start doing some trading. They may do some trading. Timmy Terry, appreciate the happy birthday. Yeah. Chanel, what's going on with you? Chanel said you can't handle the truth. He said at linebacker Murray. At linebacker Murray and Quick said Sandboard has to go immediately. Chanel, that's why I think the place that they would go is Shamar James. Looks pretty good. Maurice Leofau, I think the Cowboys want him to I believe the Cowboys want Maurice Leofau to mature a little bit more. So I could see Cowboys venturing into linebacker. In particular, linebacker. Linebacker, I think the safety is in the house. I think they're good at safety unless they got somebody they can bring in that would be dynamic. Savon Revel Jr., I think the Cowboys are banking on Savon Revel Jr. to be back this year. But, hey, and let's not even rule out Trayvon Diggs. Cowboys could trade Trayvon Diggs. There's no more guaranteed money left on his contract. I believe everybody knows that Trayvon Diggs will not be a Cowboy next year. They're either going to cut him or trade him next year. I think Trayvon Diggs has looked pretty good. Trayvon Diggs could be trade bait for the Cowboys to get another linebacker to pair up. Another linebacker to pair up with Agent Zero, DeMarion Overshown. Bring in another linebacker to pair up with him. Because I think that's one of the places the Cowboys can improve the most. The most. All right, let's finish this up.
That is going to be another team in the East. Like usual, when you have good organizations, they usually always figure out how to have a very competitive top-end football team. But certainly between Dart and Scatterboo, you have to respect both those guys and the way they're playing here the last 3 or 4 games.
You did a good job.
So you think we get 2 Tylers back this week, and then what's going on with BB and Booker looking into the future? Will BB be activated in the window next week?
It may not be as early as next week on BB, but we do have another group of players who have a shot for next week. And but BB's coming, and he's coming fast. And Turp and CD and Booker all had good weeks. So, like I said, I mean, things are the era's up, and certainly one of the ones we all got our eye on is Overshown too, and he's sure progressing in a great way as well.
Right on. We'll give him hell out there. We'll be pulling for you.
Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the Cowboys are going to be shopping defensively. And I think they're probably already looking around defensively, kind of seeing what can they get their hands on. Because I'm telling you, offensively, it's not that it would be a waste, but you already have the number one offense. You already have the number one offense. Workfield Maffa. You got Malik Davis, Jaden Blue. I think you're good in the running back room. Cowboys got to get this thing fixed defensively. And I think the place they got to fix it, if I could pinpoint one place to where the Cowboys have been weak, it's not just in the secondary. The secondary, I think, will get better. Deron Bland is back. Trayvon Diggs is playing pretty good. Wanye Thomas has went to the safety position. Now I think that Marquise Bell may get his opportunity. The Cowboys did go get the Julius kid. And so if there is a place the Cowboys probably want to really make an impact, it's at the linebacking position.
Yes! Here we go!
I think Matt Eberflus had a pretty good conversation today, too. Matt Eberflus had a pretty good conversation today. I think the thing with Matt Eberflus is starting to come to fruition. But you know what? One game. I'm gonna slow down. One game. And I think he's got to continue to build on that game he got last week. He's got to string together another game. And I think he can do it again against a very poor Carolina Panthers team. So he needs to string together another game. But again, he had an interview today. And again, Matt Eberflus has to be the most boring interview of them all from this perspective. He kind of gives you a state of the union up front. So you don't really get to ask him a lot of salacious questions. But nevertheless, I listened to about half of it. Thought he had some good things to say about the Cowboys defense. Let's check him out.
That for the Will plays Will, he plays Will. In terms of last week, I thought our guys took a step in the right direction, and it really stems from the practices that we had. So we're really good at practice.
Now, I'm cool with the thing they talking about with practice. I don't think that's the entire reason why the defense improved. I don't. I think one of the big reasons why the defense improved is injuries. Jack Sanborn. Don't wish no ill on Jack Sanborn. Get healthy fast. Just don't get back on the field. Jack Sanborn being in concussion protocol was one of them great things that happened for the Cowboys. Hooker getting hurt. Wanye Thomas. They looked way better on the back end. Way better. I think now Donovan Wilson. Some of these improvements, injuries, defensive ends. James Houston stepped up and did what he'd been doing. But the one who really stepped up was Dante Fowler. Give him all his props. Because Dante Fowler, up until last game, had been atrocious. Stepped up in a big way in the last game. But some of the changes are because injury. Ty Church in the building. What up, Ty Church? All right. But again, some of these improvements, Matt Eberflus, some of it is probably a part of your scheme. Some of it is probably them getting better. But some of it is because of injury, too.
This is really good focus and attention and being intentional in the walkthroughs, really at a high level there and really good. So, the guys have done that this week. Excited about where they are, and we got a heck of a day today because we got third down today, and we had some improvement in that area last week as well. And the guys did a good job with knowing the plan and executing the plan. So we're excited about that. In terms of guys that are in competition, our whole team's built on competition, and rotations and who's starting and not starting. That's really what we go by. We go by the way they practice and the way they play in the games, and I think that's important that the players understand that, and also everybody else understands that. It's all based on that, and it's opportunity for everybody to step up and gain a role, and a guy to get a role back. So that's the way we look at it. With the injuries to linebacker, Jack had the concussion, as everybody knows. And then Murray has played inside for us, and we're excited about his opportunity, and he's played that in our passing downs, and he'll be playing that in our run downs now. And then Shamar will get the opportunity to play, as you saw in the game last week. That will be the same rotation for us, and we're excited about it. We're excited for Shamar. He's a young player that's got quickness and athletic ability, and he's got really good instincts, and does a good job punching at the ball, and that's going to pay off for him. But he's working hard. He's going from playing pass downs to play the run downs now. So that's an opportunity for him. And then,
More
on to
Jamal
Carolina,
James.
the big thing with them is obviously stopping the run, and doing a good job with that. And that's just being
I think he just kind of like pretty much Sanborn, Jamal James. Jamal James is going to get some more playing time, bro.
all 11 on the same page, all 11 being where they're supposed to with great technique and great, demeanor. And that's going to be important for us. We worked hard on that yesterday. We were in pads. So you get a chance to work more on that today in the start of practice, and we'll segue over to third downs from there. But a good football team coming off a big win, and it's going to be a big challenge for our defense in the run game and the pass. A couple good skill players over there as well. So
happy birthday to Basement Boys. Yes, sir.
Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News. What would you attribute the success defensively last week? More about simplifying the defense or guys getting comfortable in what you want them to do?
Yeah, it's really just those guys being in the system, and being comfortable with it, and having some continuity in the walkthroughs in practice. Having the guys in there actually doing the reps, and that's important. Having the two corners back was also good to have those guys in there. But it's about continuity, practice time, time on task. I always say that, and I tell the guys all the time that it's all we have is what we do on the grass, and it's important that we execute out there. On all downs, and they did that well last week.
Are you surprised it took this long, or was it just the normal progression of things?
Yeah, I know we took a step. We took a step in the right direction, and I also know that it is a process. There's a process to it, and it's not going to be built overnight. So we just got to take another step. That's important that we do that.
Clarence Hill, DLLS Cowboys. What did you know about James Houston before he signed in late July, and why wasn't he able to stick? It seemed like he has this knack for getting to the quarterback.
Yeah, I first of all like his professionalism. He's first guy in, last guy to leave, works his butt off, pays attention to details. He's intentional in his work, and he's got some great slip to him. He's a real good athlete. He can run all the games that you want him to run. You saw the one game coming around the edge on the left side last week. He can turn it tight, and he's also strong. He's got strong ability to wrap up the quarterback and make those sacks. But I'm excited for his opportunity, and he's really made the most of it.
Matt Todd Archer with ESPN. Can you talk about cross-training linebackers, and how do you do that now with Sanborn out? Do you give Damone some time there, or Maris? How do you get all guys ready to play different spots?
Yeah, with Murray, it was a little bit easier because he was playing that Mike spot in the pass downs, so that he kind of got some, and he's had some experience in there. He's played in there 7 or 8 games over his career, so he's done that, prior to this year, so that helps out. But really, you always want to cross-train the guys, and you always want to have your starters staying where they are for the most part, if you can do that. For the Will plays Will, he plays Will, Mike plays Mike, and then the backup players, they really have to do a good job of cross-training 2 positions. So you always can have, I used to say this all the time, a pair and a spare at each spot. But, with injuries and all that, we have that, but it's important that we keep training those guys there.
And the green dot, would you prefer it's always just one guy, or the helmet guys need to be on they up to speed here on, hey, this guy's now in and that guy's out, you got to switch it up.
First thing, you don't want to have 2 on the field at the same time. That's not good. But I know that's happened before, but a couple of times elsewhere. But I think it's important that, the green dot guy is a great communicator, right? He commands the huddle. And he's, really good at, getting the attention of everybody, and I think that's important to do that. And, K9's done a nice job of that, and he's had it the whole time. But you have to have guys, they all have it at practice. They hear the call, so they all know the call, and we have guys switching in and out of doing that, but it's mostly him.
Yeah, appreciate you, Chanel. Appreciate that. Happy birthday wish, my brother. Appreciate you. Yes, sir. Big Rambowski. He said, "Don't tell you what a smart GM will be willing to give up anything for Diggs, Mozzie, or Sanborn." Man, I'm hoping maybe, man, they need to knock on the door of the Chargers. See if Harbaugh would take in Mozzie. I think the Cowboys are going to have to admit it. I think they're going to have to admit it, and they're not going to admit it this year. But I think the Cowboys are going to finally have to admit next year that they were wrong, that they were absolutely wrong about Mozzie Smith. And they're probably going to have to cut him next year. Because unless you can find somebody that think they can work with him, it's going to be tough. Angie, I guarantee you CD will be back week after next. I think the Cowboys felt like with the Panthers, they could probably do without him. But I got a feeling he'll be on the field with the Commanders, Angie. No doubt about it. Yeah, Robert Thomas, Shamar James is a beast. Yeah, and I think Maurice is going to be good too. I just think they want Maurice to settle down a little bit and mature a little bit because he's a head knocker. Problem is he do some boneheaded things too. But he's going to be great for us. But Matt, hey, let me tell you something. Matty Flus is speaking with a little bit more. He's speaking with a little bit of confidence this week. Y'all notice he got a little bit different tone in his voice? He got a little different tone. he got a little different tone in his voice. Yeah, no doubt about it, Timmy Terry. We're going to see Savon Revel Jr. No doubt about it. We are going to see him. Energy Plug, what up with you? Chanel said the Cowboys have reached out to Vegas and Miami. Keep an eye out. Man, let me tell you something. Max Crosby, which I don't think that's going to happen, but boy, Max Crosby, that would be a serious move. Yeah, Max Crosby would be a serious move because I tell you now, Raiders lose a couple more games, bro. Raiders lose a couple more games. Fire sale up in there. But the crazy thing is they're saying they're not blaming the players. They said they are blaming the coaching. In particular, their offensive coordinator. I don't understand why anybody would give him a job as an offensive coordinator. But nevertheless, yep. Hey, Ron Hanna. Man, Ron, I'm going to tell you the truth, bro. Man, this dude, Jackson Dart, man, this dude been hanging around the brothers, bro. Jackson Dart this dude got a diamond chain on, and the dude can dance, man. Man, this dude, Jackson Dart, can dance. Jackson Dart and Scotty Boo are giving me that Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott energy. Only problem for them is Dak Prescott is in this division, and Dak Prescott is balling out of his mind right now. Balling out of his mind. Ron Hanna, I do got an injury report. I'm going to talk about that in just a few moments.
Show with The Athletic, with Wanye Thomas filling in for Malik Hooker. How do you think he did in that role?
He did a good job. Yeah, he was great. He's got to work on a couple things like everybody else. But I think he did a nice job in the role, really communicating well back there. I think we're on the same page in the back end. Mm-hmm. And he's a heck of an athlete. You saw him cover there on that third down stop, before we made the fourth down stop last week on that flat pass. He has good acceleration and he's got good knockback. So I like where he is.
See, Wanye Thomas, the reason why I think him and Marquise Bell, they are what we used to have. I think the Big Ron Bowski or somebody mentioned this week. We used to have a free safety and a strong safety. You don't really see people saying that anymore. But there used to be a free safety and a strong safety. And one safety was a head knocker and the other safety was a cover guy. I mean, that's how it used to be. But we seem to have gotten away from that. Well, when you match up Wanye Thomas and Donovan Wilson, for example, well, now you got a free safety and a strong safety. One of the safeties, Wanye Thomas, is kind of like what Matty Eberflus is talking about. Wanye Thomas is an athlete. He can cover and he can hit. Donovan Wilson, he's a head knocker. That's what he is. You send him on quarterback blitzes. You send him on run blitzes. You play him up in the box. He's not really the one you want to play back if you got a choice. You want Wanye Thomas on the better tight end, or maybe he plays in the slot. Maybe he gets a linebacker running out of the backfield. Wanye Thomas is that type of safety. I'm ready to see Marquise Bell a little bit more now, though, because Marquise Bell is a head knocker. And you get that same dynamic. So I'm very interested to see Marquise Bell get some playing time.
Then what have you seen from Kalen Carson? How do you think he can help you when he gets back?
He can.
Yeah, the more guys, the better, right? So he's a good depth piece for us right now, working in there, and he's competing for a spot, like everybody else. So he's in there working.
He can't help
competing for a spot, with Kyer and the rest of the corners. And it's important that he takes that opportunity and does a good job with it. He's just getting back, into it. He's got some practice reps last week. He's getting more defensive reps this week. And we'll see where it goes from today until the game time.
Nick Harris, Four-Star Telegram. Shotty had mentioned over the offseason when you guys were looking for an offensive coordinator that Clayton Adams was a guy you had experience with and vouched for. Why was that the case?
Well, I was with him in Indianapolis. He did an outstanding job there, and I know how smart he is. And going against him, he's a heck of a guy that can design the runs. Really create angles, mismatches. Really. Wide holes before contact. Yards before contact. He's great at doing that, and he's got all the schemes. He's got the gap schemes and the zone schemes, and really understands principles of defense to take advantage of angles.
What is it about his run schemes from a defensive coordinator perspective that makes it so tricky? Like, even when 4 offensive linemen are out, it's still effective.
Well, first of all, the simplicity of it, because he doesn't ask the players to do a bunch of things. He asks them to do the same things over and over again, but the way he dresses it up, that makes it hard for the defense. He'll change, motions, might be a jet motion, blast motion from the tight end, and then really creating those angles formationally, and that's what he does well.
Tommy Arshtosh, Cowboys.com. How would you assess how Shamar played last week when he needed to step in there?
He did well. It's a big task for a rookie to come in there and start playing full time. When he was going into the week playing, mostly the pass stuff. So he's been intentional in his work, and he's a smart guy, and he's got high energy. What I like most about him is he's got really good instincts. Having instincts for the football and that quickness that you want to have to close space. Is really important at the linebacker level because they're going to get you in space sometimes. You got to be able to make that space evaporate with your quickness, your instincts, and your speed. And he's got that.
See, Brandon Cupp, you on to something. He just told us in a nutshell that Sanborn has lost his spot. He's explaining what made Sanborn so bad. Sanborn was terrible in space. This dude was terrible in space. Sanborn, man, dude taking bad angles on tackles. His zone coverage, it wasn't there. Sanborn just misanticipation. Sanborn was terrible, man. Terrible. Shamar James, speed kills. Shamar James, a lot more athletic, more of the type of linebacker that Matt Eberflus is looking for. Rombowski, I agree with you. You need versatile players. And I think this is why Wanye Thomas is better than Malik Hooker, because Wanye Thomas can do both. Shamar James, Big Rombowski, he's actually kind of doing what you're saying. You said you don't like them, the DLs and the linebackers on pass downs. So Shamar James, now he's going to do both. Because he's that versatile player that you need. He's the talent that can play both. Maurice Leofau can play both. That's exactly what you need. And so I think the Cowboys are about to get down to brass taxes. I think they're about to get down to brass taxes. And they're probably going to stop so much of the rotation in certain positions. Angie, I don't think you're lying. Angie, I don't think you're lying. I think you're telling the truth. I think he would prefer Sanborn. But I think his eyes is telling him, but I need to get this thing together. And if I keep Sanborn out there, I'm going to be the next Mike Nolan. So he's been, now again, Angie, think about what I'm saying. Injuries has forced Matt Eberflus to make changes. Injuries have forced him to do it. Wanye Thomas, forced. Shamar James, forced. I think Donovan Wilson is about to be the same. Forced. I think Donovan Wilson is hurt. And even on our offense, Jaden Blue, forced. I'm telling you. Chanel said, even Flus is alive. Murray is not the answer in Mike. And Chanel, I think that's the very place that they're going to probably go in this trade before the trade deadline. I think it's going to be linebacker. I really believe it is going to be linebacker. Because I'm telling you, if you can get Shamar James / Leo Fowl, Jamarion Overshown, and then get you another strong linebacker, shoot, man, you be ready to go. Only problem is, though, we paid Murray. I'm not sure how much of his contract is guaranteed, but we paid that joker. Demetrius Adams, oh man, Mozzie's another Taco Charleston from Michigan. Demetrius, I don't understand. Why were we going to this doggone Michigan so much? Why were we doing this? Man, if you're going to go anywhere, go to Alabama, Clemson's, Ohio State's. Man, I don't really like the brand of football they play. They play a lot of hard-nosed football, but Michigan is not for me. Definitely not for me. Oddball JC, he said, I'm going to be lit at the game tomorrow, G. Charlotte, North Carolina Cowboy. Yes, sir. All right, let's hear a little bit more of Matty Baflus. He's about done.
And with Donovan Izaraku, he's talking about how there's been an emphasis on working on his power and his rush.
Yeah.
He's a guy in college that had a bunch of moves. How do you try and marry those two things together so that he can kind of try and get back to the production that he had at Boston College?
It's all about what works for you. And there's really about one move, one counter. It comes down to really about that. So you got to perfect that. All the great rushers have one really good move, and they got one really good counter. And you just finding that way what works best up here in the NFL level. And again, that takes time. That's a process as well. But really, that's what it comes down to.
Joe. Joe Hoyt, Dallas Morning News. You talked about the consistency and how on defense and how all 11 guys in terms of run defense kind of need to be on the same page. Brees Hall had a couple big runs against you guys. When you're having some inconsistencies with people going in, people going out, how much more difficult does that make run defense?
Yeah, I mean, it's just guys doing their job and being in the right spot. That's important, and that's coaches and players. And we got to make sure that everybody understands their role and their job in that particular defense, and that's what it is. Sometimes guys will pop some runs in passing situations, which that happened a couple of times in the fourth quarter. But we got to still be on our keys and our details, of that. We understand that teams can do that. They can do whatever they want. We got to just be on the keys and details.
And Tedero McMillan was a guy you guys really liked in the draft. Obviously plays for Carolina. What have you seen from him? And what kind of challenge does he pose?
Yeah, he's having a heck of a year. He's got a lot of targets, 45 or so, 47 targets. He's got a bunch of catches, and he's their main guy on third down. So it's important that we understand that. He's strong. At the catch point, got a big catch radius. He's a heck of a route runner. He's got detail in that, and he's doing great.
Brad Sham, Cowboys Radio 105.3 The Fan. You mentioned time on task. Retrospectively, would it have been any help, especially with you coming in new, to have had them play together some in preseason?
I would say training camp, preseason. Sometimes you're not, you're pretty vanilla there. I would say training camp more, Brad, and because that's where you get all your reps. That's where you're working your scheme. So that's where the understanding of the concepts and understanding of the fundamentals and technique come, into play.
All right. This is Dallas. Y'all forgive me, but the internet went out over here in Dallas. All right, let's get this thing back on track. All right, hold on. Let me check a couple of things here. Doggone internet. All right, let's resume. Sorry about that, guys. Let's go.
Us executing the details, and that's us doing it on the grass. I know I keep saying that, but that's really what it comes down to. That's what you can hang your hat on. It's a simplistic way to look at it, but man, football is a simple game. If you're in the right spot in the run defense and playing with great technique, great violence, and everybody's, all 11 are doing their jobs, guess what? It's a good play on offense or defense.
Yeah, internet went out for a second, C-Base.
It's the same thing in the pass game. So it's just about doing it right over and over again and do right longer. And that's what it's about.
Thank you.
Hey, man, let me tell you something. He was a lot more interesting this week. Whole lot more interesting this week. And let me tell you something, man. Winning is almost a cure-all. Winning. Rob Bowski said that wasn't an internet disruption. That was Brian Brothers coming out of the bathroom inside the 105.3 studios. Man, hey, I appreciate y'all still rocking with me. Oh, man. Angie said, Flu saw G talking about sunburn and stopped G Street for a second. Angie, I'm telling you, I was thinking the same thing you said. Boy, I think it hurt. I think it hurt Matt Eberflus to admit that Shamar James was starting. I think it hurt. I think it hurt him. I really do. Because I think it's obvious he really likes. It is obvious that he really likes Sanborn. Yeah, it's obvious he likes Sanborn. And so Sanborn has not turned out the way he thought it was going to be. And so now Matt Eberflus got egg on his face, in a sense, because I'm sure that's a Matt Eberflus guy. And so
and your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. We bring you Dallas Cowboys owner and general manager Jerry Jones. Good morning, sir.
Well, good morning. Good to be on with you guys.
Well, we were just having an in-depth conversation about it. I know it feels like every single week in the NFL you get that maybe some people like myself weren't expecting. Were you locked in to the divisional game last night, and were you surprised by the way it played out?
Well, of course, again, each team in the NFL, in my view, can beat any team. And it's because we are designed for parity. We're basically designed so that if you win the Super Bowl, you're the last to draft. When people waive players,
I'm what you call it, okay.
If you're the Super Bowl
I think
winner,
he'll be okay, just he can't play this scheme.
32, you're 32 to be able to pick that player up. Every other club gets a chance to pick him up when he leaves another team. That's subject to his contract. Where I'm going from this whole thing's designed for parity, and it's designed, frankly, every way it can be for everybody to be 50-50. And candidly, I really think you should go 50-50, but for your ability to get better than everybody else. So, long-winded answer, doesn't surprise me at all that a team can evolve. That New York Giant team that we played when we opened up this year, didn't open up, but played them, is not the same team that's playing right now, and it's but 3 weeks later.
Do you feel like the East is even more open now that Philadelphia has lost than it was going into this week?
Now, I do disagree with Jerry on this. Even though I think Jackson Dart looks good, that defense is the same defense. And that team did put up 30-something points on us. So I'm not agreeing as much there, even though Jackson Dart and Scatty Boo look good, but I don't think they could have done any better against the Cowboys. I mean, doggone it, like I said, they scored almost 40 points on the Dallas Cowboys and took them to overtime. I'm not going to put much stock yet into this New York Giants win. I appreciate this New York Giants win. I'm not putting a lot of stock into this New York Giants win. I'm glad they beat the doggone Eagles, but the Eagles were having problems last year. So we just got to see how this all plays out. I'm not about to say that the New York Giants are about to be racing the Cowboys for the NFC title this year. But again, they got a very good defensive line. Jackson Dart, Scatty Boo look pretty good. But again, Brian Daboll is the coach. I have no confidence in Brian Daboll, and I'm still mad. I wanted them to win, but I don't want them to win any more games. I want Brian Daboll to be fired. I don't want him to ruin the career of Jackson Dart and ruin the career of Scatty Boo the way he derailed Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones, who both have now put egg on his face because one has won a Super Bowl and the other one is looking like a doggone MVP candidate. Get Brian Daboll out of there.
This past weekend?
Well, I don't know that game created my answer, but in general, I have felt that
appreciate y'all on the happy birthdays.
Division is we're very capable of evolving into what we want to be as we hopefully get better against the Panthers. I hope we evolve into a team that can compete for the NFC East Championship or the division winner.
Now, I know you were talking about some of the rules in place for the NFL that create this kind of parity, and we really like that. Sometimes the rules are a little bit tougher, like when they fined you for this past weekend. Have you appealed that fine? And if not, is
Jerry ain't
today
appealing
the
that
deadline, and are you going to appeal it?
I'm still considering that. We've got a couple more conversations that we're having with various ones. But that's still open, so I'm not going to be able to give you an answer.
It ain't even worth appealing, Jerry. Go on about your business.
That's that. And, of course,
yes, sir. Agree with you, Andrew.
Teams have to have basic rules they agree to because what one team
we're going to open up our phone lines tomorrow.
This
will be the day before the game. We're going to open up phone lines on Saturday.
And then there's always a matter of opinion. And or questions about the amount or certainly whether it falls in that category or not. And so all of that relates to an appeal. It's part of being a league. I understand the discipline of the league for sure. The disciplinary actions of the league.
If I know anything about my co-host, he wants you to keep fighting. He's always about keeping going after it. Jerry, there were a lot of positives coming out of that Jets game. One concern from a lot of people was how much the Jets were able to run on the ball on you guys. Do you think after y'all's meetings this week that's a quick and easy fix, or is that something you feel like you need to keep an eye on?
Oh, well, quick and easy is really too not trite to your question, but really it's more than that. But it is a fundamental scheme thing that execution is as part of is what the scheme is. And it's simply said, everybody's got a gap responsibility. Everybody's got a place they're supposed to be responsible for. And if you're not, you can create quite a hole in the defense. And that's
I think it'll be linebacker Danglim. I don't think it'll be Trey Henderson. I don't think it'll be available.
Your
appreciate you, Andrew.
Practicing, or you can repeat your well, I'm getting the same word, but my point is, you can get better. No, you can get better practicing with what's causing us to have these problems.
Are you feeling like we might see the same offensive line as last weekend, or are you thinking Tyler Guyton will be back starting at left tackle?
Yeah, I think that game day is going to tell us that.
Tyler Guyton's going to be back starting when he's healthy.
It's likely that he'll be in there, absent some setback here these next couple of days. And but some of the same players that played well, you will see out there because of the fact that we don't have everybody, and we'll need to dress out extra players. And you're allowed to dress out without counting on the roster count. You're allowed to dress out on an extra. offense.
See, Bays, I actually be tripping on the fact that they really like how they be talking to Jerry. I really do be tripping on how they be talking to Jerry and asking him all these football questions. I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, he's answering some of them pretty good, but I'm just kind of like, it's just amazing to me that they're asking him all these football questions.
Lineman. And that's something a lot of people aren't aware of, but you can be above your.
Yeah, I can see Max Crosby, but I can't see Trey
lineman.
Hendrickson.
You just talked about some of the offensive linemen who have been playing really well. Obviously, Nate Thomas is one of those people. Do you think before the injury, Tyler Guyton was playing well enough to remain the starter?
Well, I do, yes, but Nate Thomas.
It's solidified. Man, come on, y'all know we gotta. You know, these dudes. They. I know what they're doing, but come on, man. Cowboys spent a first-round draft pick on Tyler Guyton. Tyler Guyton is not sitting on the bench. Is not sitting on the bench. Not happening.
Thomas has really been a pleasant thing to watch him evolve. He had an outstanding training camp, and he's really gotten, if you will, of more importance, more depending on him than we could have anticipated starting this year. So bottom line is, yes, it's a good situation to have, and Nate gives us position flex too. He can go to other positions.
And we're always looking for more of that for sure. Mm-hmm. We know we have George Pickens now, and everybody's very happy about that. But during the draft, there seemed to be some interest in Ted McMillan. Do you remember your feelings on Ted McMillan, and are you looking forward to seeing him Sunday?
Well, I think that I don't zero in when we've got an interest in a player and he's playing us and that type thing. It's a great question, and it's really something of interest to fans. But from my perspective, I'm more worried about who we're going to have out there and how they're going to play than I am about who we're playing.
Well, the other thing, too, though, Bryce Young, quarterback for the Panthers, hasn't quite lived up to that number one overall billing. Do you believe that it's kind of a roll the dice whenever you have the overall pick and you go for a quarterback? Or is it really about the organization and the development that they're drafted into?
No, I think it's a major roll of the dice at the quarterback spot. The issue is, of course, that's a lot of consideration when you look at it through what a number one first pick in the draft, what it's worth.
Yeah, I've heard Roquan Smith.
In terms of getting other picks. And so it is a big consideration. But the real consideration, the real cost to the franchise.
I agree with you, Martin McGee Jr.
Is all of the games and the time and the everything that has to be invested to determine or give this player every opportunity to be the starting quarterback in the NFL for whatever team. Now, that's a high price to pay. And you can spend a lot of years. You can spend a lot of games.
Ron Hanna, they are not putting Guyton on the bench, bro.
And still not know if you've got a top quarterback. And sometimes you don't know it, and you see teams that the player
Robert Simmons, I said that before the season started. I would love to see Tyler Guyton at right tackle.
And after a few years, become the quarterback that the team originally that drafted him thought they were going to have. It's a rough road to hoe to draft and develop quarterback.
Now, in terms of y'all's quarterback, I think we all realize football is very much it's a team effort. But with the way Dak is playing right now, do you think he can carry the Cowboys to the playoffs?
Well, the way
Slothborn is diabolical.
A lot of
Slothborn.
What makes Dak is what he does to the team. Not just his play, not just his responsibility in the play, but it's what he's done to prepare the team, not only at his duties at quarterback, but what he's done to prepare the team.
Eddie said Jerry really think he's schooling them when he talks.
Leadership. He's the best leader, frankly, that I think I've ever been around. That's probably enhanced by the fact he's the quarterback. And I thought Michael Irvin may be one of the best leaders I've ever seen. But the bottom line is that Dak does enjoy that status of quality, maybe the best, and yet does play quarterback. And so it doesn't surprise
Robert Thomas, I
me
agree. We
that
won that
what
trade,
I
bro.
heard time and time again from coaches that have been here that are not here any longer is that Dak raises the level of everybody around him better than anybody they've ever seen.
Now, Dak also said he would love it if he could play until he was 40. That was a nice round number, or maybe into his 40s. Could you see that, given some of the injury concerns that he's had over the past few years?
Well, we all know that the physical game that we have, that injury concerns are just a fact. They are a real concern, more so than I think any other sport. Having said that, the way Dak plays this game and the mental aspect of it and what he does before snap out there. I've heard over the years different coaches say, we just got to get Dak to do less. We've got to somehow make those calls before the snap. We've got to give him help in that area because we've just got so much on his shoulders apart from actually getting the ball to the spot he wants to throw it, if it's a pass play. So, this is a long-winded conversation you can have here, but that's why we made the commitment.
And you just said you were long-winded, Jerry.
Candidly, with Dak at the time in his career that we made him the highest-paid player in the NFL. And I think he's the reason why we all have a chance to be optimistic about this season, and I think it can happen.
But you've never been known to be long-winded or anything, right?
When we get going on a subject, every word just breeds three more.
Yeah, that's the way. We understand. We're in the radio business. We got to talk too. Jerry, we heard Jonathan Mingo had a little bit of a setback. There might be a little bit of concern with what's going on there. Do you know exactly what happened? Are you concerned that he won't be ready for whenever the window's open?
Well, it doesn't surprise me when someone is coming off of an injury, and it doesn't surprise me that they can get out, and it may not even be in the same area. It's one of the things we always talk about, that after somebody has been rehabbing from an injury, that he can
regulator, you was straight cloud. He's happy.
It doesn't surprise me, but I don't know that anybody knows the time frame from the extent of the injury as to how it might compromise him on getting back.
Okay, gotcha. Now, this was something, I was listening to you talk with Sean and RJ, and you were talking about how much business you've done up in New York and how you spent a lot of time up there, and you mentioned business a couple of different times. I was kind of curious, on game day, when you're out on the field and y'all are all kind of getting ready for the game, do you talk business with anybody out on the field? Do you talk business with people up in the suite, or are you like, no, I'm focused, I'm locked in on the game today?
Oh, it's always about
kind of approach, or do you feel like that takes away from what the NFL does during the Super Bowl?
Just from the standpoint of
Jerry Jones leads into Mickey Spagnola, so it's always about the lead-in programming.
Now listen, don't get anything going here about Mickey. He's my man, and we've been together a long time. So, and boy, I do think the world of him, and he's an example that I give with media all the time.
I appreciate you, Jerry. Appreciate you, Jerry. I'm laughing. Eddie said Jerry think he be talking like he be schooling, boy. Shoot, you can't tell Jerry. You can't tell Jerry he don't know no football. You can't tell Jerry that, Angie. That's how him and Jimmy fell out. Shoot, Jimmy like to never forgave Jerry. Jerry like to never forgave Jimmy for that. Man, this thing with Miles Sanders. I mean, like I said, nobody is sad about it, but boy, this thing with Miles Sanders is crazy. Gone for the season. So in my eyes, I would see no reason. I would see no reason why the Cowboys would want to keep him. Yeah, I would really see no reason why the Cowboys would want to keep him. All right, let's listen to. I want to, we've listened to the Joneses. We listen to Brian Schottenheimer all the time. Let's check out Brian Broaddus. He's going to talk about the Carolina Panthers defense. So we're going to skip the Schottenheimer thing. We're going to listen to Brian Broaddus talk about the Carolina Panthers defense. And then we're going to get into our breakdown of this game, of the storylines and things that I have come up with and what's going to be a big deal in this game. So let's hear this one last interview. This is from Brian Broaddus.
Hey, kids! Your old pal Krusty's gonna teach you 5 new words.
You're not wrong about that.
From Dallas, Texas, number 55, Brian Broaddus.
Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate you. Thank you very much to Reliant for being a part of this one. Does anything make you
Ron
nervous
Hanna,
about
I'm telling
Carolina's
you,
defense?
we have improved through injury, bro.
Anything you've read or heard about?
Straight up.
Yeah.
Derek Brown, Trayvon Moehrig.
And Nick Scorton. So the rookie, and we didn't love him coming out of A&M.
Nope.
But they're using him to his strengths. A&M would have him, and it was tough to decide, like, is he a 3-tech? Is he a 5-tech? Like,
right.
Where exactly should he line up? Watching them specifically against Miami, they had him as a stand-up outside edge rusher.
Sure.
And they did some of the loops with him that we were talking about the Cowboys
Right.
had success with, and he actually played really well. And he is a guy that can get after the quarterback.
Yeah, but it's funny. They've had trouble getting after the quarterback. If you watch overall,
Yeah.
But I know exactly what you're talking about watching the
Miami game.
The Miami game. It just seemed like Miami was like the great deodorant.
Skull
for this
Unknown
team.
back in the building.
Yeah. No,
What up, Skull
that's
Unknown?
what I'm saying, that one of these things that Miami, even though Miami was up 17-0, they're just completely falling apart there. But I think defensively, there's absolutely, and I think the guys that you mentioned, you need to be concerned about. I think you absolutely need to be concerned about Derek Brown. I think you need to be concerned about Ashawn Robinson too.
Yeah.
Playing as that like almost like he could play like that one technique tackle inside, or he could play a 0 technique nose, and then they could cover both guards.
Yeah.
With the way that they play their front. But I would be, because I worry about with Robinson and maybe with Dallas, their ability to run the football or try to run the football, and how does that match up with Hoffman always take place? But you're probably going to get a lot more double team stuff inside and trying. Dallas. The one thing that I think that the scheme has done really well is the fact that it's not asking these Cowboys offensive linemen to come off the ball and win one-on-one all the time. Like when they're trying to move somebody. I mean, Booker, when he was in there, Booker can move somebody one-on-one. Smith can move somebody one-on-one. But the scheme's not
C-base,
asking
you know
them to
what?
do
I
that.
forgot when you
The
called in.
tackles are helping,
You said it's
with
not
that.
C-base, it's C-bass. Stephen White, it's C-bass. So that's me mispronunciating that. If I'm not mistaken, that's what you told me, right, C-bass? It's C-bass, not C-base. My bad.
They're using the angles. We talked about the pulling. Zach, you mentioned all the pulling and the trapping and stuff like that they've done. But they're playing to the strengths. But you got some guys, like I say, that pretty good point of attack players. And I mentioned a guy like Robinson. Mm-hmm. So I worry about how much is Hoffman going to be matched up against him one-on-one. Something to keep an eye on in this game for sure. I don't think they can rush the passer particularly well as a group. I think they're gonna try and do things with.
Just appreciate that super chat.
As they come off the ball, it's almost like what Dallas was doing earlier in the year. Or
Andy said all these knees, ankles, and knees and ankle injuries on this team taking me back to kindergarten playing head, shoulder, knees, and toes games.
Some of these early games was just rushing.
Yeah,
up the field
I'm
and
telling
trying
you,
to get off.
Y'all called them team ligament or something before, didn't you, Angie? I'm telling you, they got out. Whew, they got bukus of injury. It's always something with these knees and ankles with the Cowboys.
Blocks. Nobody's winning with any regularity. There used to be a time where Carolina had guys that could win.
Burns.
Yeah, they had guys off that,
Clowney.
Back in the day, who was a guy was at Green Bay that knocked the ball loose from our.
Skull unknown. That's a scary part. They had two wide receivers
knocked
out.
The ball loose from Murray. I'm thinking
Julius Peppers.
Julius Peppers.
Oh, that's right.
Julius Peppers' name. But yeah, that's they've had guys like that before. They just don't have that guy right now.
Pat Jones had 7 sacks last year, but he's just an occasional flash. He looks like a good athlete.
He looks like a
See,
really,
man
really
said
good
we them-
athlete.
he
but
said
if
we them
you-
IR
when you
boys.
when you watch him play, like plays really, really tall. The guy that Wanham is DJ Wanham.
Yeah.
Is like the guy to me, number 98. He looks like the guy to me that has the most pass rush ability. When they have these guys that are real tall, they're linear guys, and they play that way. They let you get their hands on you, and so I think it's one of those things that if Dallas finds a way. I think Dallas can run the ball on these guys, though. I say that as far as
they're going to run
maybe
the ball
with the stuff with Robinson to keep an eye on him. But I kind of feel like that if you could play edges with these guys, and I mean edges in a way, if they're going to play these fronts where they have 3 inside your tackles, the down blocks, the combo blocks, the pulling, the things like that, they've struggled. Stink was right, by the way, about
JG, you said you need me to go to the facility and anoint every knee and joint.
That's what he does. He is a boundary corner.
Need
And
to
when
pray
I mean
over
a
him,
boundary
boy.
corner is he plays to the short side of the field. So if the ball's on the right hash, the boundary would be to the defense's left, offense's right.
Why does the team do that? Why would a guy make you a boundary corner?
Maybe the thing now. This is where this is where I'm going to try and explain this, because you've seen guys like he was taking one spot after Patrick Surtain.
Yeah.
I think Surtain is a better player.
Yeah, I'm ready to
routes
Robbie
than this guy.
Thedford.
This
Cowboys
team
going to be
plays
after
zone
Rico
about
Dowdle. They might tackle him
90%
on the sidelines.
They play zone more than the Cowboys do.
I'm glad you said that. It's a third in the league in terms of cover 3.
Yeah, they're going to play a lot because they're going to try and get your safety more down. They're going to try and get him down because that's where at the Raiders, that's where he was.
Merrick, the former TCU guy.
Merrick, I said more. Merrick. He's going to.
Yeah, he is good at that. And they don't have a lot of guys, to your point, that are good at zone. Like Mike Jackson, former Miami corner, the Cowboys drafted him. He went to Seattle, played a lot of zone coverage there.
Yeah.
So they're trying to. And J.C. Horn's always kind of been a gambler type.
He has, and that's the thing about it is when you talk to the Cowboys scouts about him as a player coming out, he was a gambler, where Surtain was more of a buttoned-up guy.
Yeah.
More you could rely on him more. He wasn't gonna put you in harm's way. But you watch him play; they're playing 7 yards off, and they're giving up plays. They're giving up inside routes and stuff. So, to your question, Dawson, is boundary corners sometimes you don't have to cover.
C-Man said brothers asked the restaurant about ingredients when he orders the pizza. Man.
Many routes, and they're maybe trying to keep him from having to cover so many routes. They might be worried about his health though too, a little bit,
Sure.
him being banged up. But he's a guy that's not really super interested in playing. And I know Stink was talking about run the ball his direction. That is an absolute possibility there when you watch the way that they play. So
Well, I'm here for it, man. Javonte Williams will make you earn it.
but the stuff with he does not have to, as that boundary corner, have to cover a lot of routes, especially anything breaking to the outside. Everything he can kind of keep everything inside to him, and then adjust and run with the coverage. But most of these boundary corners will use the boundary as an extra defender. Just they'll force that guy into the boundary, and then they won't let you run any routes from that.
So they run almost 50% cover 3.
Yeah.
And Dak against cover 3 this year, third in the league in passer rating, completing a league high 83% of his passes versus cover 3 and a league high 5 touchdowns. They might want to change that tendency because Dak will probably pick that apart.
I don't know if it'll change it for the better.
Robert
though.
Thomas is a great
I
point.
love this matchup for the Cowboys offense.
I do too. I feel like though.
Said tacklers now when they have your feet, They are rolling when they tackle, now creating more ankle injuries. I agree. Yep, I absolutely agree. They doing some dumb stuff when they tackle these days. There's no doubt about it. These guys, I don't even call what they're doing tackling, man. They're just injuring people. Drop hip tackle needs to be outlawed in the NFL. It's terrible.
To me, it's like, we'll see what happens at the guard spot. We'll see what happens if Smith is back in there. I think that will help them inside with some of the things that they're trying to do. And I also feel like that maybe at left tackle too, they can match up with Guyton being back in that as well. The protection, the play action stuff, I think is going to be good. I don't think these linebackers are particularly good for this football team. But I'll say this though, that the corners, it's not one of these things you say, oh, go find the scrub, because I think the corners.
Cowboys should really have a great game.
I don't think they're great. I think they're good. Whereas last week you were able to kind of find, oh, go attack this guy or go attack that guy. I don't think that's really necessarily the case. But I think in the zone coverage, if these guys are going to give you 7 yards cushion, give Pickens and Flanoy and those guys the ability to run routes, and your nickel get about 5 yards cushion the way these guys are playing, I think you're free access in these routes. By all means, take advantage of that.
Roseboom had a good game against Miami, but you think that was just because it was Miami?
I think Miami. I just
Miami is so bad, dude.
I just think that there were some things. Him and Wallace, they were talking about that maybe that he was calling the defenses, and they took that away from him, and they gave it to Wallace, and so that let him play a little bit more free. I don't know. Like I say, I don't particularly like these. I don't particularly like either one of these linebackers at all.
Oh no, Andy,
that's
105.3 playing that jazz music.
But if they're going to play a lot of zone coverage,
sounds good too.
Good luck with that and free access in these routes. I think the Cowboys can make some plays, and I think they can run the ball on the edge on these guys, because they'll find a way to trap these guys. You can watch some of the early season, the early games, like watch Jacksonville against these guys. Jacksonville did a really good job with some of their pulling schemes and trapping schemes. They got guys to go up the field, and then they would just trap.
Clayton Adams gonna have a field day.
And then the ball would be inside. So the Dolphins had no explosive plays against these guys. The Dolphins' offense was awful against these guys running the football. Everybody else has been pretty decent with that. So I think that the Cowboys will be just fine here going against this defense.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Yeah. The Cowboys are going to, I don't believe they're going to have any problem. I just don't believe they're going to have any problem with the Carolina Panthers. I think it may be pretty good for about a quarter and a half, but I think the Cowboys going to go to town on them in the second quarter. Let's get this second to last segment. I saw this on DallasCowboys.com. It was the first time I seen it. Well, actually, the second time I seen it. But I just noticed today it's not that long of a segment. It's only about 3 minutes. But if I'm not mistaken, this is Will McClay doing this thing. So I figured it'd be pretty interesting to watch. Hopefully we don't get a copyright strike on it. But let's listen. I think this is Will McClay. I think this is Will McClay breaking these plays down. Have any of y'all checked this out yet on DallasCowboys.com? It's called Scouting the Enemy. So we're going to make it a segment every week if it's good enough. But I think this is actually Will McClay breaking down the Carolina Panthers.
You're inside the Globe Life studios. Bill Jones now joined by Will McClay. We got the telestrator out. We're going to break down what the Carolina Panthers have on both offense and defense. Let's start on offense, Will, and how about the run game? And number 30, Chuba Hubbard, who has been their starter. Of course, Rico Dowdle getting action last week, expected this week. But what do they do in the run game?
Well, they're in the top 10 rushing in the league so far, all right? So you want to look at it. Their offensive line is good, not great, but the backs make it because of their patience. Here's Hubbard right here.
We will not be facing Hubbard this week.
On a power gap scheme. Now you want to talk about patience. So he has patience and he knows where his blocks are coming, and then the ability to run through arm tackles make him very tough as an inside runner.
And Hubbard was a 1,200-yard rusher in 15 games last year, another 1,000-yard rusher with the Cowboys last year, wearing number 5 now with the Carolina Panthers is Rico Dowdle.
Yep, and Rico is averaging over 5 yards a carry, talking about their commitment to the run. Now they're going to run an inside zone here, a little bit different, and it's great the way they have the scheme and using their backs. But here, it's the patience of Rico and then his ability to set up that block by 64. Then when he gets to the second level, how many people does it take to bring him down?
All right, in the pass game, of course, they got the former number 1
Boy, that was nice
overall
by
pick,
Rico.
Bryce Young at quarterback, and a first-round pick, top 10 pick, Tet McMillan is one of those big guys out on the outside.
Quarterback's best friend is a running game and big receiver. So they got Leggett outside. They went and got Tet here, all right? So we'll take a look at Tet right here. They reduced the formation. The quarterback does a great job. He sees the safety coming down. They're pretending like it's cover 2. He sees the motion. Now what he's going to do is hold the safety and give the receiver time. And then after he makes the catch, this is one of the things that Tet does really well, is run after the catch.
All right, so those are some of the weapons on offense for the Panthers. On defense, it all starts up front with big number 95.
We're not playing Chuba.
And he'll be the star of the defensive show here. We want to talk about a couple things he can do. First off, it's being stout against the run. They play a read and react defense, which means he's got to read the blocks and stand firm. They're going to run a little stunt here, but you will see him set the edge and then just displace a human being and make a tackle inside the hole.
Just an example of how he had 100 tackles 2 years ago when he was healthy. Here's some more, number 95.
All right, we're going to talk about rushing the passer. Things quarterbacks hate the most is pressure up the middle. This guy is one of the best, and you don't have to get there, but you can restrict the lanes. And then he's got 34-inch arms, plus he's 6'4", 340-something pounds, but then the ability to be able to cover up windows and make a play like that.
And another example, in their win over the Dolphins, it was first series of the game, he disposes of the left guard here.
Yeah, it's a very interesting thing here. Again, it talked about his size, but here's a guy with movement. He can go through you. He can go around you. We want to talk about his speed, quickness, and agility right here. All right? They're going to see the formation. What he's going to do, he's set out wide. He's going to beat the guard across his face and close in a hurry. 2.4. We got to be ready off the snap.
All right, that gives you an idea of what to expect from the Panthers. Our thanks to Will McClay.
Yeah, I like that. Nice little section there. All right. All right, let's get to our game preview. Yeah. Cowboys versus Carolina Panthers, week number 6. Yeah. Week number 6. Carolina Panthers, this is a big game for the Cowboys. So, let's go to some storylines. There are some very interesting storylines in this game. Rico Dowdle isn't the only storyline in this game. Now, one of these, now I'm going to have to scratch off here. But Rico Dowdle told the Cowboys to buckle up. Rico Dowdle is one of the very reasons why the Cowboys are not sleeping on the Carolina Panthers. You said buckle up, the Cowboys are going to buckle up. The Cowboys are going to be ready for this Carolina Panthers run game. I mean, Will McClay just showed us they've already been checking out what they do in the run game. Chuba is not playing, so it's going to be pretty much on Rico Dowdle. So the Cowboys will be ready for Rico Dowdle. Anybody will run for 100 yards other than somebody named Rico Dowdle, because the Cowboys going to make it their business for Rico Dowdle not to run 100 yards. Next story. Jadeveon Clowney. Nobody's talking about this. Jadeveon Clowney played for the Panthers. I think he's a little bitter about how he left the Panthers. Some of the things he said, don't think he was too happy about this thing with the Carolina Panthers. Jadeveon Clowney going back to Cali or going back to Carolina. Miles Sanders out for the season. Don't have to worry about that. Jonathan Mingo goes back to Carolina. I'm not sure if Jonathan Mingo is going to play now. But I would think that this is a game that Jonathan Mingo would want to participate in. Next storyline is, can the Cowboys defense continue to improve? This is a big deal. Can they continue to improve? Last week, it was the Jets. This week, it's the Panthers. The Cowboys need to be able to do the same thing to the Panthers that they did to the Jets. And we're going to look at the stats for the Carolina Panthers, and they are eerily similar to the Jets, and the Cowboys should be able to make some work of them. Next, will the defense continue to improve with some of the moves that they've made? And then again, can Dak Prescott be Superman? Can Dak Prescott be Superman again? Because the Cowboys still have some injuries. Tyler Guyton, let's look at a more detailed injury report. All right, I got a pretty detailed injury report right here. We know Tyler Booker out, CeeDee Lamb out, Guyton out, Malik Hooker, injured reserve, Kevontae Turpin out, Tyler Smith questionable. Now let's roll over here. We got something a little bit more detailed. Man, the Cowboys got a bunch of people on this doggone thing. So again, Booker out, Lamb out, Sanborn out, Miles Sanders out, Turpin out, Deron Bland questionable, he'll play. Kalen Carson questionable, Ajani questionable, Diggs questionable, he'll play. Marshawn Nealon questionable, Jonathan Mingo questionable, Tyler Smith questionable, I think he'll play. Looks like Jadeveon Clowney, he was a full practice Friday. Dante Fowler practiced full Friday. Guyton full. Houston full. Milton full. These were players that were out, I think, early in the week. Murray, Thomas, Sam Williams, Donovan Wilson, they're all in. They are all in. Yeah, no doubt. Guyton is going to play. Yes, sir, Metro Green. Guyton is going to play. Then when we look at the Carolina Panthers, a Caleb Evans, cornerback, out. Chuba Hubbard, out. Moulton Taylor, tackle, out. And then they have Turk Warden, defensive tackle, he's out. Coker, Jackson, Sanders, Smith, Wade, all questionable. All questionable. But the Cowboys last week, with the injuries they had, Cowboys were still able to murk the Jets. And so, again, I think Tyler Smith is going to play for sure. Again, replacement report. This may be Jaden Blue's official debut. Did really do well last week. Brian Schottenheimer said he's taking responsibility for that. Jonathan Mingo, we'll see if he plays. Nate Thomas, Brock Hoffman, Wanye Thomas, TJ Bass, Shamar James, they're all playing again, and I'm happy. And so when we look at the offensive stat comparison, this is similar to last week. Angie, I agree with you. As long as Dak is healthy, we good. Yards per play, advantage Cowboys. Points per play, advantage Dallas Cowboys. Rush play percentage, I don't even know if you call this an advantage, but they run more than we do. 41 versus 38. Pass play percentage, the Cowboys is 62.35. Dak Prescott's completion percentage continues to be off the charts. I think Dak Prescott has the second most attempts in the league with the highest completion ratio. That is literally insane. So it's not like Dak Prescott is throwing very few passes and has a 71% completion ratio. He's throwing a lot of passes, 71% completion ratio. Very good by Dak Prescott. Third down conversion percentage from last week went up. Cowboys improved. Red zone percentage went up from last week. Cowboys went from a 66 to 68.42. So the Cowboys continuing to improve. So every offensive comparison goes to the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys should literally rip through the Carolina Panthers defense. When we look at the offensive position comparison, I think the Cowboys are better in every position offensively. Quarterback, the Cowboys. Running back situation, the Cowboys. Wide receiver situation, Cowboys. O-line, Cowboys. Tight end, Cowboys. Coach, overall, Cowboys. Defensive stat comparison. Kind of a little bit off like we were last week. Now, keep this part in our minds. The Cowboys were almost dead last, or if not dead last, in defense. So now that the Cowboys, even though the Carolina Panthers statistically are better than the Cowboys, that's because the Cowboys had just, four atrocious games before they got to game 5 and played really well against the Jets. Opponent's yards per play, 6.1. Opponent's points per play, 0.458. Opponent's completion percentage, 72.38. Opponent's third down conversion percentage, 54.93. Opponent's red zone percentage, 65%. In all of that, Cowboys actually improved. And I think they're going to look even better against the Carolina Panthers. And so they're going to continue to move up. But the Cowboys, as bad as they were defensively, the only place they can go is up. So the Cowboys should improve against the doggone Carolina Panthers. Defensive position comparison, the Cowboys, I think their D-line is better. But again, with Carolina, linebackers, cornerbacks, safeties, coach, and overall, I'm still going to give that to Carolina, but that ain't saying much because the Carolina Panthers, their defense is bad too. Our defense is improving. I don't think theirs is improving. So let's look at the offensive keys to the Cowboys winning the game. They're very simple. Run the ball. No surprise here. Run the ball. Run the ball 35 times. At least. Run the ball 35 times. Start off fast again. And I think it's even more important against the Carolina Panthers. Their strength is their running game. You want to take them out of the run game? Get up on them. Now, Miami got up on them last week. They went to the run game and ran themselves back into the game. Cowboys can't do that. Cowboys need to get up on them, pin their ears back, and get after the quarterback. Hold on a second. Byron Joe David in the crib. What's going on with you? Appreciate that super chat. He says, curious if the Chiefs will wear the Texans throwbacks versus Dallas on Thanksgiving. Hey, that'd be awesome if they did. Ron Hanna said, man, we can't continue to have them stats, G, if we're trying to get to the playoffs. Now, Ron Hanna, understand, those stats, though, are all improved. We were terrible the first 4 games. So those are our stats for the year. So we're trying to improve our stats for the year. It's terrible. Jakira said, go back on your defensive sheet. All right, let's go back. Talking about the defensive position comparison sheet? Oh, okay. Defensive stat comparison. This is what you're talking about? Yeah, on this right here, the reason why they're all green for the Carolina Panthers is because they're actually better in these. If you want to call this better, they're better than us. We're giving up 6.1 yards per play. They're giving up 5.6. We're giving up our opponents 0.46 a play. They're giving up 0.43 a play. Completion percentage, we're making quarterbacks look great. Quarterbacks are 72% completion ratio against us so far. Against Carolina, they're 65. opponents' third down conversion percentage. They're converting 55% of the time. They're only converting 38% of the time on the Carolina Panthers. But some of that may be because they're not in third down a lot. And so opponents are scoring 65% of the time in the red zone against the Cowboys, only 62% of the time against the Carolina Panthers in the red zone. Both defenses are bad. That's what that's spelling, Jakira. Both defenses are bad. But the Cowboys defense, at least based on the Jets game, we're on our way up. I think they're going to continue to go on their way up because the Carolina Panthers, I don't think they're going to be able to match them. I don't think they're going to be able to match the Cowboys. Brandon Song, appreciate you. Brandon Cup, appreciate you. That song, Yo G, I love it. Yes, sir. Made that one myself. I got some more coming up here this year. Robert Thomas, yeah. Brian Schottenheimer is doing his thing on offense, man. And I think he's only going to get better. I think he's only going to get better. Now, let's go back to these offensive keys. Run the ball, Cowboys. Run the ball. The play action for the Cowboys is the most improved thing they have this year. Dak Prescott, Colin Cowherd said it best, Dak Prescott with a running game is Patrick Mahomes. They gotta continue to run the ball. Continue to run the ball. And it's crazy because even though they're running the ball 30 times, almost 30 times, Dak Prescott is still throwing 30 and 40 times. So hopefully we can kind of condense that even more. Start off fast again. I think it's even more important to get up on the Carolina Panthers. If I'm the Cowboys, I break their wheel early. Get up on them. Get up on them. Take that run option away from them. And the Cowboys, I promise you, if the Cowboys get up on this team 14-0, take them out of that run game, they will turn Bryce Young over twice, and the Cowboys will mop the floor with the Carolina Panthers. Again, the Cowboys are going to have to keep Pickens in motion, I believe, get him more involved. Last week, he only had 2 receptions, 2 for 57. One of them was a 40-plus yard bomb from Dak Prescott, touchdown. But again, I still would like for Pickens to be even more involved this week. Again, the supporting cast got to come up big. Tolbert, Mingo, Ferguson, Flournoy. I think Dak has built some trust with Flournoy. I think Dak's going to feed Flournoy even more this week. Again, Cowboys, long drives, time of possession in this game. Score every time you get the ball. In this game on the doggone Carolina Panthers. No turnovers. It's the only thing that keeps Carolina in the game. No turnovers. Protect Dak Prescott. More of the same from last week. Again, run the ball. I would like to see this week Jaden Blue get about 15 to 20 carries also. Run Javonte Williams 20 to 25 carries. So I got the Cowboys. I'm wanting 35 to 45 carries. Run these boys in the ground and then kill them with play action. I love the fact the Cowboys continue to play Hunter Lipke at the fullback position. I'd like to see him run some. I'd even like to see him catch some passes out of the backfield. We paid him. Let's use him. Cowboys again. Minimal penalties. The only things that keeps, to me, the only thing that keeps Carolina in this game is penalties and turnovers. Penalties and turnovers is the only thing that can keep the Carolina Panthers in this game. Minimize the penalties, no turnovers. The Cowboys get this thing and win it. Again, Lipke at fullback, win time possession. Every time the Cowboys get a drive, touchdowns, no field goals. I don't want to see Brandon Aubrey. I want to see Brandon Aubrey get that big contract, but I don't want to see Brandon Aubrey with no field goals, no long field goals. The only thing I want Brandon Aubrey doing is kickoffs and extra points. That's it. Dak Prescott needs to keep going to Ryan Flournoy. Let's keep building up Ryan Flournoy. Keep going to him. I want to see Jaden Blue in the passing game. He can be very explosive in the passing game. We saw him last year during the playoffs with Texas. Get him in the passing game. And then again, deep shots to George Pickens. Next up, defense. Same thing last week. 3 and outs. 3 and outs. That's what we need. I think the Cowboys need to spy Bryce Young. Bryce Young is having up and down year, no consistency. Cowboys really got to just, he's not a burner. He's not a fast guy like a Kyler Murray. Cowboys just need to stay on him, and I think they'll be able to handle him. Gap integrity, don't let him step up in any of those gaps. Make sure you close those gaps, and when you force him outside, get the sacks. Lost in translation, what's going on, my brother? Next up, stop the run. Stop Rico Dowdle. Do not let Rico Dowdle get 100 yards. I say to Rico Dowdle, 75 yards. Rico Dowdle, 75 yards. Again, Cowboys, more blitzing, no big plays. Now, defensive keys again, and this is about personnel. I'm loving what the Cowboys are doing. Clowney, Deron Bland, Maurice Leofau, Marquise Bell, I think, may get some playing time this week. Wanye Thomas, we already know playing. Play more cover one and man. But again, I do agree with Darren Woodson. Darren Woodson said they need to earn it. Again, defense, stop Rico Dowdle. Get that blitz rate up to about 30-35%. Play physical, as Angie always say. Play physical, play aggressive. Cowboys, I believe, and again, turn Bryce Young over. Turn him over. Special teams, it is what it is. Let me tell y'all something. Jaden Blue, on one of those kickoff returns, Jaden Blue exploded. Jaden Blue, we would love to get some big runs from Jaden Blue. We really would. Really would. Brandon Cup, send me what you got. Send me what you got to my Let's Talk Cowboys email address. Jaden Blue, we need some big runs in the return game and the punt game. And again, Brandon Aubrey. I don't want no field goals from Brandon Aubrey. I love Brandon Aubrey, but I don't want no field goals from Brandon Aubrey. All I want is extra points and kickoffs. That's it. Now, this is my thoughts on the game and how it's going to turn out. I believe the Carolina Panthers are going to try to establish the run with Rico Dowdle. But notice what I said. They will try to establish Rico and fail. They could run. They'd be better off running anybody else with the exception of Rico Dowdle. Cowboys, man, I'm telling you, I won't be surprised if that dude standing on the sideline, somebody tackle him. They are going to be after Rico Dowdle. I think this will be another big sack game for the Dallas Cowboys. Last year when the Cowboys played the Carolina Panthers, the Cowboys had 6 sacks. I think they're going to get 6 or 7 sacks again. I do. Lost in translation, I agree with you. Blue on wheel routes will be dangerous, just like in Texas. Carlito, Bryce has been very inconsistent. I think the Cowboys are going to wear him out. I think it's going to be another big sack game for the Dallas Cowboys. I think the Cowboys are going to get Jaden Blue more involved. I think they're going to try to get some explosive runs with Jaden Blue. Jaden Blue will be more involved. I believe the Cowboys run for 150 to 200 yards. They are just hard to stop. They are just hard to stop. It's at Let's Talk Cowboys at gmail.com. Yeah. Let's Talk Cowboys at gmail.com. All one word. I believe Clowney will get a sack in this game. I believe Donovan Ezeraka will get his first sack in this game. And I believe the Panthers will turn the ball over. And because of all of this, this is my prediction. I think the Cowboys may drop 42 on these boys. I think the Cowboys gonna drop 42 on them. They dropped 37. What was it? 37 on the Jets? I think they're gonna drop 42 on these boys. 40? 42. Let me change that real quick. They're going to drop 42, I believe. Hold on. Got to change that from the Jets. Hold on. Yeah, I think the Cowboys going to drop a tremendous amount on them. I think the Cowboys are going to drop 42 on them boys, if not more. If not more. Let me see. Yeah, Cowboys going to drop some serious points on them. I don't see any reason why they won't. All right, hold on. Let me change up some. And I think the only reason why they're going to score 40, only reason why I think they're going to score 24 points is I think the Cowboys are going to beat them so, they're going to beat them so bad it'll probably be garbage time. And I think that's where they'll get their points. All right, so let me go back, make that quick correction. I do believe the Cowboys are going to put 40 up. I think the Cowboys are going to put 40 up on these boys. 42-24. And I think the 24 is going to be garbage time behind back. It's going to be 24, and that's going to be on backups. Man, I won't even be surprised if we see Joe Milton by the fourth quarter. Cowboys going to put up points on these boys. I believe they going to put up points. I got 42-24. And if the Cowboys would have turned the ball over and have terrible penalties, it'll still be close, 27-24. I don't think that's going to happen. The Cowboys, man, Brian Schottenheimer's got this team in a whole different headspace, and I believe they are going to put up some serious points on the doggone Carolina Panthers. Let me see. Y'all throw me some scores out. Let's see what we're working with. Robbie Thetford, he said 31-17 boys. Yeah, Carolina Cowboy, what's up today? I'm with you. That's what I said too. Take their will away early. It will be over. Take them out of running the ball. It'll be over. C. Bass, he said put 40 on them. Hey, he said 45-10. Ron Thomas, 35-17. 150 on the ground. Dak 260 through the air with 2 TDs. It's going to be crazy. Yeah. Brandon Cup, yes, sir. I'm speaking it into existence. Terry Tatum said, not 40. 42, not 40. 40. 42 on them boys. Yeah. I think Cowboys going to go 40 or better on them. Yes, sir. How about those Cowboys? Yeah. Metro Boom 808. Yep, this is Dak reincarnated. Man, Dak playing better than he did in 2023. C. Bass, he said 40-21. Yeah, I think it's going to be 40. JG said this was Michael's bread and butter right here. He loved these yearly Carolina Panther games. Boy, you better stop. But it's, hey, garbage stats. Yeah, boy, he's put up some serious stats. JG, he's put up some serious stats on the Carolina Panthers, man. Brandon Cup said Dak is Hercules. Jakira, let's see. Jakira said 48-14. Hey, Jakira, I believe it. 7 sacks it won't shock me. 7 sacks are not going to shock me. 4 turnovers. Javonte 172. I can see that. Ferguson 87. Flanoy 140. I can see it. Wait a minute. 595 yards for Dak. I don't know. It's going to be hard for Dak to get 595 with Javonte for 172. But I think it's going to be pretty bad. Brandon Cup said 42-17 boys. Ryan R., I agree. I think our pass rush is going to feast on Bryce Young. But the thing is, Ryan, you're right. We have got to contain Rico. We got to stop Rico early. John Jones, yeah, 44-20 Cowboys. Derek G. What up, Derek G? He said 50-20. 50. Terry Tatum, 37-7. Edward Frazier, appreciate that super chat. Edward Frazier, he said 50 piece. My man Michael Smooth, 35-10. Michael Talib, 42-10 Cowboys, just cause Rico talking smack. Yeah, the Cowboys gonna be buckled up. You better believe it. Lost in Translation said 14-50 Cowboys. Yeah, it's gonna, man, I think it's gonna be bad, boy. C-Bad said that Quavius Cam Newton on ESPN. Tell it like it is. 41-22 Cowboys. Yeah, Dak 4 or 5 touchdowns. Yeah, I think it's gonna be rough. Ryan R 21-40 Cowboys. Yeah, it's gonna be bad. Mitchell Green 37-20 Cowboys. Yeah, garbage time scores. That's what I think too. Boys up 37-10 in the third. Yep. I think we'll see Joe Milton. And I think we'll see it'll be the fourth quarter when they'll probably start, the Carolina Panthers will be scoring some points against backups. Carlito said, I just need the Cowboys to continue to redefine themselves. Don't believe the hype, just ball out. Having said that, Cowboys 38, Panthers 15. Now, Dak Prescott said this game should help the Cowboys solidify their identity. Yeah. Doomsday, 48-17 Cowboys. Tristan, 45-17 Cowboys. Andrew, he said, go Cowboys, Prophet G. Hey, let me show you something else. I talked about this in a video I did earlier today. Man, these NFC East standings. We may come out. We're going to come out of this week. We should come out of this week at least a half a game behind the Commanders and the Eagles. We should come out a half a game behind. The Eagles are 4-2. We won't see them again, I think, until October the 19th. The Commanders play the Chicago Bears. Chicago's coming to Washington. I do think the Commanders are going to take care of business on the Bears in Washington. I don't know why we couldn't get the Bears in Dallas. But I think the Bears are going to Washington. And so I fully expect the Washington Commanders to take care of business on the Chicago Bears. But hey, any given Sunday, the Cowboys, I fully expect them to take care of business and get the Carolina Panthers. So when we come out of this weekend, the Cowboys should easily, or come out of the first of the week, the Cowboys should be a half game behind first place. NFC East up for grabs. The Philadelphia Eagles seem to be on a tailspin. I'm not sold on the Washington Commanders. I'm not sold on the Washington Commanders. The Cowboys are on the upswing. Cowboys should come out this weekend. It should be 4-2, 4-2, 3-1. And I'm telling us, that half game may actually help us in the end. And then, what's going to be so great, the Cowboys will be battling the Washington Commanders next week. Win this game this week, battling the Commanders next week. The Cowboys may full well be playing for second, maybe even first place in the NFC East. Boy, that will be incredible. That will be incredible. It's amazing what a couple of games can do. Cowboys tied with the Packers, beat up on the Jets, can beat the Panthers. 3-2-1. Man, you beat the Commanders. And I do believe they're going to beat the Commanders at home. Man, you sitting in the catbird seat. You 4-2-1. Yep. 4-2. You'd be 4-2-1 for one game at a time. We got to beat the Carolina Panthers. And I don't think the Cowboys are sleeping on them either. I don't think the Cowboys are going to take the Carolina Panthers lightly. I think they're going to really come out and they're going to be very purposeful and intent on beating the Carolina Panthers, especially with that doggone Rico Dowdle telling the Cowboys to buckle up. Okay? Well, they buckled up. Oh, yes. I'm with you, Metro Boom 808. Yep. It's going to be a different story next time we see the Eagles. Going to be a different story. And I'm telling you, man, next time we see the Eagles, they might not even have A.J. Brown. How crazy is that? We may see the Philadelphia Eagles, and they may not even have A.J. Brown. This same stuff he's doing now is what got him out of Tennessee. And I'm telling you this, they've already won the Super Bowl last year. I'm thinking that probably around mid-season, they may be thinking, hey man, maybe we're not going to win this thing this year. Let's get him up under A.J. Brown's contract. Trade him to a team that want him. We may not see him. You just never know. What's the trade deadline? November the 2nd? Trade deadline November the 2nd? Let me see. I think the Cowboys, I think they play them after the trade deadline. If I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, A.J. Brown has already asked for a trade. The Cowboys play him November the 23rd. Trade deadline, I think it's November the 2nd. Michael Talib. Yeah, they didn't have him the first game. He was in the game. Yeah, he was in the game, but they didn't have him. But hey, he may not even be there. He may not even be there. So, he's asking for a trade. So, we may not even see him. So, I'm telling us, man, the Cowboys are on the upswing. Brian Schottenheimer is making great progress. We're watching now. Matt Eberflus is making some progress, but we're gonna give it another couple of games. We're gonna see what it looks like against the Carolina Panthers. The Carolina Panthers aren't good, but the way you're going to measure your defense against a team like the Panthers, well, you should beat them the same way you beat the Jets, because that still tells us that your defense is improving. You need to do the same thing you did to the Jets. You need to do the same thing to the Panthers. Andrew, let me tell you, I think the Panthers are going to come out and they're going to play hard, but the Cowboys can deflate them by getting up on them. Man, Jakira, let me tell you something. I hope the Chicago Bears, I hope they upset the Commanders. That'd be so great. Yeah, that's what I said. Tell it like it is. They had him. They just didn't have him. Shoot, they locked that joker down. They put A.J. Brown, they put him up under Fort Knox. Put him straight up under Fort Knox, man. But I'm excited. I think the Cowboys are going to beat the Carolina Panthers. I'm telling you, this is going to be a great little run for the Cowboys. Cowboys got what? Panthers, Commanders, Denver Broncos, Arizona Cardinals. Then they go into a bye week and go into the Los Angeles Raiders, who by that time may be having a full all-out fire sale. And Pete Carroll, keep on playing. Keep on playing. They might just turn the whole thing over. So by the time we play them, they might not be playing for absolutely nothing. Lost in Translation said, have a sneaky suspicion the Panthers want us to focus on the run. I think they will try to test us through the air with Tet and the gang. I think they are too. Thankfully, though, Tet McMillan is not a burner. Ted McMillan is not a burner. Now, he can get some yards after the catch, but he's not a burner. But I can tell you this, Lost in Translation, I'll take my chances with Bryce Young. He can't even see over the line of scrimmage hardly. So if he is going to throw it far, one, they're going to be deep drops. So I doubt he's going to be able to reach the end zone with some of those. I'm good. I don't understand teams that get those quarterbacks like him. And man, let me tell you, somebody mentioned it last night, and it is a fact. I don't think there's been a successful Alabama quarterback. Not that I can remember. I just can't remember a successful Alabama quarterback. Y'all tell me. These doggone Alabama quarterbacks, man, they just never seem to turn out. And one of the reasons why those teams, and I think we're seeing the same thing with Tua Tagovailoa, Now, Jalen Hurts, he went to Alabama, didn't finish in Alabama. But let's think about Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is the epitome of the Alabama quarterback. You think about why these Alabama quarterbacks are always so good in college. Nick Saban used to surround those Alabama quarterbacks, not only with top offensive talent, he would surround them with the top defensive talent. So those quarterbacks would be surrounded with talent everywhere. Best defenses, best offensive players, best offensive line, best running backs, best wide receivers, and some of the best play callers you could get. Top flight play callers around those quarterbacks. Jalen Hurts is the epitome. He's the epitome of an Alabama quarterback. All those players they had around Jalen Hurts. All those players they had around Jalen Hurts at Alabama wound up having to put in Tua Tagovailoa. Yeah, Poopy D, he wound up with the Oklahoma Sooners. Then Jalen Hurts now with the Philadelphia Eagles. What did they do? They surrounded him. They surrounded him with talent. They surrounded him with talent. And that's how they got that Super Bowl last year. But all of a sudden this year, we're watching chinks in the armor. We're watching chinks in the armor. Y'all tell me, Saquon Barkley got that extension? Saquon Barkley don't look the same. Saquon Barkley, I could be going crazy. Saquon Barkley ain't running. He ain't running like he ran last year. Not to me. I've watched Saquon Barkley now through 5 games. Saquon ain't running the way he was running. 6 games. He ain't running the way he was running before. He don't look the same. And so again, you got Jalen Hurts. He is the epitome, if you ask me. He's the epitome of the Alabama quarterback. You put a lot of talent around him, yeah, they'll win. Like most quarterbacks will. But you put a lot of talent around him. But now, and you can tell that talent doesn't have the confidence in Jalen Hurts. You can tell. The Philadelphia Eagles team, it's like they're all looking at Jalen Hurts sideways. They're looking at Jalen Hurts sideways. It's like they're not following him. Now, we'll see what happens as this season goes on. You know, maybe they'll have one of these come to Jesus meetings, player-only meetings, and get this thing together. But I don't know, man. It looks like this thing may be falling apart. It looks like it may be falling apart. Yeah. Brandon says, look, Hurts left the greatest team in the country because he sucks big ones and went to Oklahoma. And Saquon wants a trade. Man, I'm telling you, Saquon ain't looking the same. And they extended Saquon. He ain't looking the same, man. It is hard, man. These teams get to these Super Bowls. It takes a certain type of mentality to win a Super Bowl and then want to go back and win another one. Man, you got to be hungry. And I think a lot of that hunger has to come from your coach, and a lot of that hunger has to come from your quarterback. It seemed like to me, Jalen Hurts is like, man, I got me one. Saquon Barkley is like, I got me one. Some of them players on the team are like, man, we done got us one. And they're ready to go on and do whatever they do. So, I'm telling us, Philly not looking the same. So, the Cowboys, man, this thing is, and I don't even think it's up wide open. Man, I think this is the Cowboys' division to lose. The Cowboys by far. Isn't it strange? All this old talk about who's the best quarterback in the NFC. Dak Prescott destroyed that conversation. Dak Prescott has destroyed the conversation of who is the best quarterback in the NFC East. Dak Prescott's destroyed that conversation. Dak Prescott has destroyed the conversation of he's not a top 5 quarterback. Dak Prescott's destroyed that conversation. Dak Prescott is head and shoulders the best quarterback in the league right now. In the league right now. And so, Cowboys on the upswing. They're on the upswing. I'm loving it. Hey, this is I got this hoodie. Andrew, I got this hoodie from Fashion Nova. They don't have them no more. If they did, I'd buy me an extra one. I like this so much, I'd like to have an extra one because eventually it's gonna fade. I've had it about a year. Eventually it'll be faded, so I'd love to get another one, but yeah, Tristan, hands down, Dak Prescott, best quarterback in the league. Right now. Right now, he's the best quarterback in the league. Destroyed every conversation. I mean, it's amazing the conversations that people were having before the season. Yeah, the best quarterback in the NFC East. Yeah, Dak isn't even the best quarterback in the NFC East. Really? Big Rambowski said, Dart has still got my top 25 MVP vote. Kara Dart. Got my 25 MVP vote. Kara Dart. Okay, help me with that one. Brandon Cup said the Birds are cheaters and it's catching up and money makes people funny. The Cowboys got this because the defense will be better. And we got Dak, man, let me tell you. I'm telling you. All the Cowboys have to do is to get this defense to somewhere between 15 and 20. Man, Cowboys get this defense between 15 and 20, second, third round of the playoffs. They mess around and get this defense to top 10, top 5, top 10, Super Bowl. Book it. Book it. If they get this defense to top 10, Super Bowl. Book it. Book it. Albert Donaldson, let me tell you something. Luck ran out on them last night. You can't keep winning games the way that the Eagles were winning games. It's the same thing that's happening to the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs have been winning through the referees and crazy plays for the last 2 years. It's done caught up with them. It's caught up with them. If the Kansas City Chiefs can't get a lead on you and get the referees to help them, game over. Game over. I think we are heading towards a Cowboys-Bills. I think we're heading towards a Cowboys-Bills Super Bowl somewhere in the near, if it's not this year, it'll be next year. I think we're heading for a Cowboys-Bills Super Bowl. That's where I think we're headed. And I do think it's the one that everybody wants to see. Brandon Cup said, Daughter Scatty Boo will be rookie of the year, but Dak will be MVP. Book that. I believe it. Yeah. I believe it. I can see it happening. Man, I got to give Dart, though. That dude got swag, man. That dude got swag. Straight up. Elbert said, yes, I knew they were going to lose last night. Elbert, to me, by the second quarter, I was like, oh, man, Eagles about to get beat. By second quarter, I was like, Eagles about to get beat, man. Eagles about to get beat. A said 52-17. Won't shock me. Elbert, I think we may be able to do it. I think we may be able to get to the NFC Championship game. If the Cowboys can get healthy, they're only going to get better. I can easily see it because I just don't see how anybody stops our offense. I don't see how anybody stops our offense. Not on a consistent basis. It's going to be hard to do. Cowboys are a hard out for any defense, and they're only going to get better as the season goes. Ron Hanna said the Chiefs won't make the Super Bowl this year. Man, I don't even believe they're going to make it to the doggone AFC Championship game. Boy, Poopy D, I forgot about it, boy. Ibuka, man, Ibuka been balling. I forgot about him. Yeah, he been balling. Yeah, Kendall, he said Bills versus Cowboys Super Bowl coming soon. I believe so. I think the league is already setting it up. I think it's going to be the Bills and the Cowboys. Tell it like it is. He said Nugget. Dak Prescott was the third highest rated quarterback in the 2018 playoffs. Yes, sir. I hadn't heard anything bad, Andrew. But I did hear something that had my mind kind of twisted up. Stephen A. Smith said right now, he said right now Dak Prescott is the MVP, and he'd take Dak Prescott over Baker Mayfield. I was shocked. Albert Donaldson, he said, our running game is very good, and I'm so surprised. It's Clayton Adams. He's a mastermind. Patrick Johnson, what's good with you? Yes, sir. Yeah, Dart played like Ronnie Bates from Remember the Titans. Yeah, he looked pretty good. But again, he gonna find out just like all the rest of them do, Patrick. Boy, once they get film on you, boy, you look different. Whoo! Boy, you look different. Andrew said he made money and he still have a job because he is truly Dak and the Cowboy hater. Oh, yeah, he's made a living off of it just like Skip Bayless did. All right, guys, that is going to do it for our show today. We will be back tomorrow for another show to talk about the Dallas Cowboys. Any news that come up, we'll have another pregame show tomorrow, and we will be having our Sunday morning show. Y'all make sure you hit that notification bell if you haven't. Like, share, subscribe. Hit that notification bell. I appreciate you all. Until the next time, let's talk Cowboys. DC Pharrell, God bless. Let's talk Cowboys when we talk facts. Peace.